Force and this Earthshaker are going to try and do.
Jackie, Mickey goes into all of them. Oh, he's broken. Reactive armor stacks not where they need to be. He is gone. Snowball afterwards to Insania and just timber chained into the wrong spot. Zai up on the high ground, gonna pop the BKB Exorcism. Still thinks that this is a decent fight for them as, well, Matumba Man pulled back in. He pops his BKB, tries to run away from Jackie. Yopaj throws out the Avalanche and gets a little bit of distance, and that might be enough to get him away. So the fights break down after the initial volley, but that's Exorcism down.
Yeah, and this is a situation where like it just can't happen like that. I'm talking about the difficulties of the initiation where they really self-define that big toss back. Mickey tossed himself into Boom.
Yeah.
You know, he did Tiny's job for him.
That's right.
Oh, they stuck around though. Oh. They waited and they lurked, and he got punished for being greedy.
That was very well done. Liquid needed that.
It feels like Yopaj was like trying to bait something because he had Tim's coming over, and he's like, yeah, I'll find something.
No Yopaj in this fight if they want to take it. And Roche, 35 seconds until it's capable of respawning. This game, again, it straddled that line of, 1,000, 2,000 gold lead the entire time with pretty big stratifications across the different layers of cores. But we're getting to the point now where it really comes down to how that initiation starts.
Yeah, I mean, we just have so much blink potential, right? We have the Tusk, the CK, and the Tiny looking for that big hop where they just get in there and blow you up. So if there's an Aegis on Liquid, that nullifies a lot of this net worth that they then spent. So America's favorite game in 24 seconds.
30.
Okay, not even
Oh my God. 3 minutes.
All right, so it's a big timer for the Roche. And who is that going to benefit this situation? Well, I suppose it's probably Liquid, because time seems to be on their side.
That's true. AC now done on the Alchemist. But it also comes down a lot to who has that vision. Liquid with a really good ward up on that high ground, scouting all of Boom's movement across the map there. That lower pillar, but Boom also getting down a ward themselves. They didn't actually deward that one, it looks like, so we'll keep it for the moment. And Liquid, do they want to? Yeah, they scan. They know what's happening. Immediately head out of that triangle. Gonna leave it and head to their vision instead.
Yeah, and that Ench creep just running around as well, trying to find this vision on them and give an idea of what's up as it gets toss Avid at Yopaj, so.
Mega dead. Have that sentry ward up there. And it's that weird moment where you this would normally be where you'd want to take that fight and go immediately into the Roche pit. Neither team has gone and checked it yet.
Yeah, Boxy, yeah. I mean, he has the shard. He's holding here. This is a great spot to fight from Boxy.
Walks into everybody, gets silenced, and just going to die. Another one of those very bizarre moments where you think you could take the fight and just very wrong.
Dire's middle tower.
That was interesting.
Radiant's top tower.
That's a bold move. Is what that is. I mean, number one, maybe not expecting them to necessarily all be there, or he's thinking I can snowball fast enough, right? That I feel like that was his play. I'm going to snowball. I'll provide the vision. You guys have this sweet jump that you can punish on this, but that's still risky into an Earthshaker because if you don't have a stun or at least some sort of damage on the box, and he can just reposition with the blink, with the shard, with the echo, it's not that easy. Then again, maybe they just preemptively pop their BKBs and they do it in a very aggressive manner when they go.
That's true too.
Scam onto that D ward so bad he threw the sentry down, huh? Yeah, I'll double sentry that clip. I don't care.
So in spite of that nice pickoff, it doesn't end up mattering that much at all. I mean, you didn't have to use a buyback. Everybody's together again. And the only thing that's really changed is the swap out of position and vision on the map, where now it's Liquid that hold this high ground and Boom hanging on to the pillar above.
Yeah, we both got creeps in. It's a creep battle in the Roche pit here.
One of them's not putting up too much of a fight. Oh, God. Poor guy. Didn't stand a chance.
He was busy. He was shopping. Scam, Get himself a Vlad's here as he builds in towards that Wraith Pact.
Basher being done would be pretty good, too. Has there been that much more progression, I feel like, out of Yopaj? Doesn't look like it. We did see the AC completed for the Alk, and for now it's still just that BKB and the Echo Saber. CK, Mage Slayer done, trying to get into the heart. Stun, kill off the Enchcrete. That next round of neutrals. Be down here in a second. That was a good one.
Yeah, you got him.
Roche respawns, neither team confident to go on in. I mean, these matches, going up one game in a 3-game series to determine who goes to TI, you can see just how careful, calculated, and like nobody wants to be the person that goes in and loses everything.
Yeah, it's just every one little bit too, right? You know, like I look at like Boxy's level 11, almost 12. It's like, look, I can really use a couple more points in my skills right now.
Yeah.
Every little bit helps on Shaker, be it the ulti points or be it the points in Aftershock. I mean, with the shard, I'm sure you can make a case for the Aftershock.
Smoke, they don't get Mickey in it. But Liquid, thinking this is their moment to head in. Insania, waiting for the smoke to break. He gets a ward up on the high ground.
Tim's left his courier there for so long intentionally for this exact situation so he could spot when the smoke comes in. That courier's been there forever. That's a great play by Tim's. So he knows that they spent their smoke. They know that they're in the pit right now.
But do they know that Roche is being taken? Need to send in some creeps, get some vision there. Yopaj.
He blinks for the D ward, Tim's. He tries to force stab him down. Insania's getting crazy.
But they do have a snowball over to some creeps. And a little bit of a misplay. They thought that he was going over that direction, and Yopaj pops the BKB, runs through. Things get a little bit wild. TP's out, realizing that was not the fight they thought it was going to be.
Well, he gets a free exit, but the question is, can he get back in for a good spot in this fight now?
The illusion bait was interesting.
All right, we got the mech. We got the hand of God.
They see this. The acid spray down, breaking any blink daggers that could come out. Boom, they need to find another way to get in. The Chakram, it's blocking their path. Dude, the Chakram is right there, ready to go. Jackie, BKB walks in for the stun. A bash now on a Matumba Man. The shorts keeping him inside. They need to finish this off. Do they have a way in? Yopaj with the combo, but Boxy says no, and Matumba Man snatches the Aegis. Yopaj in trouble. He goes down. Liquid, they managed to win that fight, getting the Aegis on the Alk. What a stop from Boxy.
And that was the cost of spending that BKB early. Didn't have it when he really needed it, jumping in to try and grab that Aegis. Yes, you're able to get the kill on the Roche, but obviously look at the higher prize there on Team Liquid. And all of that coming back to the way they played around this pillar, that vision. Even just that initial play by Insania to attempt the cheeky force-staff offensively to push him to the low ground. All of that coming back, breaking apart this idea of, boom, the block on the staircase from the chakra. Just beautiful stuff.
And imagine if that Nether Toxin was just placed a little bit to the left inside the pit or something, then that stun's not there. Maybe you find a way. Oh, Boxy. He was right ready for it. When they needed him most, came in for it. But 11, or rather 10 to 13. The thing that's interesting is that because that fight was still kind of a wash, the main victory is that you've got this Alk Aegis now, but I don't know if that's going to make him feel confident pushing across the map either. We'll see.
To me, it just comes down to the question of like, how confident are Boom now? Like,
yeah.
Do they feel like they can actually approach more of these tier 2s or even a tier 3 at that point now that they're up to this rate pact? It comes down to Yopaj having to put himself in this role of the support. Like in this situation, this is where you want the Fortnite because you want to be a bit riskier, much like he had to like BKB TP out. That's the cost of doing these tossbacks.
Yeah, it gets really hard to make those fights be perfect.
And if you don't preemptively BKB, you get Yules. Like, look at this vision on the high ground. You're going to get a pre-Yules from Zai if you go in on here. So, great D-ward there. Very important right now. And Tim's like, that's his courier, right?
Yeah.
You know, this is why a lot of support players love playing these heroes that can actually get that vision with their skills on the high ground. But sometimes you just got to throw down sentries and bring your courier along for the ride.
I feel like there's like a Pavlovian response where people just have to hit a courier if they see it running by. You know, so he's going to bait that out at some point. But AC done on FBZ. They've got triple BKB for Liquid as Timbersaw picked one up. It's interesting because you mentioned like Yopaj kind of falling back almost into a supporting type role, and we're seeing for FBZ he feels that pressure to be that other right clicker, that other hero that can make the difference with Jackie. It's
certainly the best thing he could do in a game like this versus a DP, a Timber, and an Alchemist like the Scotty. We know what their heroes do, right? You're trying to beat out this regen. Meanwhile, Jackie's like, what if I just regen? You know, what if I buy a heart? How about that? Is that going to work out for us?
He's a strong boy.
All right, well, Yopaj not as risky potentially by using the Shadow Blade here. Radiant Vision, they actually don't have any sentries here.
This is a big reveal.
But
finds one. Mickey toss back onto FBZ. The BKB response. Don't know if he spotted that when they tossed him back. FBZ will have the Viper strike. Jackie blows up Insania. Did not stand a chance. Turns for another 2-second stun. Can they bring down Mickey? Instead, they focus down onto Zai. Has to back out. FBZ in some trouble. The bash is there, but Matumba Man not trying to go for the full commit. trying to run away is Skem. He gets stunned. He gets controlled. Chen getting a lot of regen in, but does not have the help of his team. Matumba Man, BKB wearing out. Tim's thinking about turning to him. With the tier 2 tower already dead, I don't know if Boom can take this fight anymore.
Oh, they want to chase. They got Blink on CK. They got Blink on Tusk. Viper has these range damage. They want to go in.
5-second stun. Avatos from Yopaj. Couple more punches is gone. No Aegis. Turns on his Zai now. Snowball. Jackie beating into him, but Boxy moves on in. Is it not enough though? They turn. FBZ still surviving. So much survivability on this Viper. Matumba Man gets his ulti off. And Tim's runs on in silence. FBZ down low, and he's in trouble as they bring him down for the finish. Tim's now turns. Mickey back in. Alk dies. Jackie in this long extended fight. The heart regen doing so much for him. He's got a couple more punches. Tim's wants to walk back through this.
He's out of mana.
2v3, but Insania is far away and not really going to provide that much help. Jackie low, the chakram, it's out. He's trying to regen off of creeps.
There's
the rest of the
Snowball.
team is ready to come in. They do have the Chen nearby. Scam gets there for the mech. It's enough for the save. Both of the creep heroes are back. They have the flat sword. The turn Insania just dies again. Was hoping something else would go on, but Tim's there with the BKB cancel. Mickey falls in the extended fight. CK Chen, they still win.
Tim's just lurking through the tree line throughout all of this, that vision, helping them out through so much of this engagement, allowing him to play nice and safe. He started out the fight by also kiting Matu up at the top near the tier 2 tower while the rest of his allies were focusing down some of these other important targets, and great prioritization throughout so much of this from Jackie too. Just Insania, I think, played about 2 seconds of that fight between 2 lives.
It was rough. Help is the call from him, and he needs it. Oh, geez. 34 minutes in, and very little separating the two teams, but you find these pickoffs. Down bottom, Boxy goes down, Yopaj connects. Timbersaw is dead for 40.
That is a pricey death here, and yeah, part of that replay. I mean, you can just see, honestly, the story of this fight is just total chaos, right? It's so broken out there in the bottom lane. That's where you're up at in the bottom picture. That's where you saw that Tim's like, he secured so much of Matu's time, and he spent so much of that fight in 20% HP or less, and he did so much for the team because of that.
Gotta potentially get back into the real game here, as they do have buybacks on 2 heroes, but you don't want to have to use it. Matumba Man pops that BKB, backs away. Rax going down. 3k gold, but they're not willing to buy back for this one yet. It's so close. How much damage can Boom get while they're waiting? They've already taken 1 melee. Do they stick around for another, or do they back out? Gotta watch out for that big Echo Slam. He's got it ready. Boxy TPing in. Wants to find his target, but will he be able to? They already have the breakdown. He won't have a stun if he goes in. FBZ turned upon. They have the BKB there waiting for the breakdown. Boxy still hunting, waiting in the backside. Zai tries to burn down a little bit more on these heroes, but they can't find a target. FBZ low. Fissure connects onto 2. Pretty good. And they're going to find at least those 2.
And they're backing out of there. TP out from the tiny. Jackie just trying to run, and they couldn't get the sync there. They're trying to get like the penitence plus the tag team and just blow up somebody if they could at this point, but the BKBs are all up there from Liquid. They do defend their high ground.
This game, very back and forth, but Boom strike the first big economic damage, the big creep wave damage, getting that mid melee Rax down. They still have a ward up on that high ground because the tower was taken, which is inside the base, but it seems unlikely to just go for another, run down another lane with all of Liquid alive.
Yeah, much like losing Boxy last time with a couple heroes dead. We'll see if they lose someone on Boom.
Zai, broken, toss back, stun. Oh, but the Yules, he gets away. Zai was wondering if they were going to go for the full chain stun, but doesn't get it.
And where was I?
Right.
Back to taking this outpost here. Okay, thank you very much. Neutral's about to come up again as well here. Look at that next round, but heroes respawning with Tusk in the big range of initiation. They could engage now if they wanted to. Overwhelming blink completed now for Matu. They are struggling with the damage, obviously. That's one issue that we saw from Jack with the heart. They're trying to chew through this guy, so maybe that extra bit of burst at the beginning can help out on some of these side heroes. You know, maybe it's not going to do that much versus the CK necessarily, but trying to catch Skem at the beginning.
Ooh, Timeless Relic is nice. That's some extra damage for him.
And look at this wrap here. Hand of God not there, so missing a pretty key part of their fight. They're going to find Zai again.
Runs right into him. Stun, BKB. Zai, Yule Scepter. Tries to get out. Can he escape? Matumba Man shows up. Good stun onto the Tusk. Boxy joking together with the rest of the team. A good burst down as Zai will fall. Mickey, BKB, his is wearing down lower. FBZ right on top of him. Where do they go next? A couple more bits of control. The break is there. This Viper is doing so much work, standing tall in front of all of them.
He's left alone,
the
though.
wrap through, yeah, he's eventually going to fall. FBZ goes down, but they got the buyback out of Zai.
It was almost an instant roast, too. It's back up.
That is huge. Liquid, do they check? Oh, they might not check. They don't realize that it's up. This would have been the moment. It could have been.
No, Zai gets in there.
Zai's going for it.
He's got the brain.
He checks. The pings are there. A self-stun going to come onto Matumba. And boom. Are they going to recognize? It was such a quick roast respawn. This is such a gift for Liquid. Zai heading on into the pit to check it, and boom, they're just going to have no idea.
If you're not sure, you can't really afford these buybacks, especially on FBZ.
Oh, what a big win that is.
That's an Aghanim Scepter as well here.
Oh my god. What a turn of fate. Liquid get gifted by Gaben. Just a huge win. Off the back of that kill on FBZ and a second Chakram. Suddenly they have significantly less damage issues. Mickey is huge.
They must have given him the shard too, huh?
I think so.
Unless it was Jack who got the other one. I'm not even sure at this point, but it's a bit chaotic on that first roast. So not many shards this game. A little unusual. Only 3 across the board.
True. Yeah, only a couple of them there. And how much does this change things? I mean, boom. Okay, they have this ward. They want to take advantage of it. They find Boxy right at the start. Stun. Interrupted. Matumba Man ready for the punish. The bash is there. They got him controlled. Skip trying to keep him alive. And Hand have got everything for Jackie. But eventually, Snowball save keeps him alive. Oh, the regen is going to come out. But will it be enough to make him survive through the second salvo? It won't. They went for it all. And it did not work. FBZ also in trouble as they find another pick. And boom, they felt their moment. They thought they could do it. But man, I'll say Blastrig is really freaking good against CK.
Yeah, I definitely understand the idea though. Like he feels the need to go for these plays because of the itemization that they have here with this Bloodthorn. Like he's gone. They have to find the solitary confinement to just kill any of these heroes on Liquid. You know, there's just too much assistance.
I think he dies if he doesn't have Blastrig.
Yeah,
like it was so close.
Yeah.
Unreal. 5,000 gold lead already after that fight, and now even further ahead. And boom, it wasn't going to work.
Yeah, I mean, they took the mid racks at least, right? So they've gotten that.
That's true.
But not able to get any further pressure after that. And now coming down to the tier 2 in the mid lane.
Might get a racks of their own if they're not careful. Still 30 seconds without CK. Matumba Man walks high ground. They got Greaves on Chen. Buyback status. He is 1,400 gold away on the CK. They will use the glyph, Liquid glyph themselves. Oh no, they still hold theirs.
Tim's is slowly approaching from the back here. Of course, these fights, they've been picking him off at the start. It's made the fights a little bit more difficult to execute from Boom, but Tim's going to be in a good spot this time.
Yopaj, Ava, toss back into the base. Pops the BKB. Matumba Man wants to get away. Boom's still going to try and chase this. Tim's has the control. Where's the snowball afterwards? The BKB is there. Brought down low, but Tim's, he has his own BKB. Going to survive through at least the first salvo of this.
Snowball.
Jackie pulls him back in, but surviving not long enough. They take down Matumba Man. Boxy, it's not there. They don't have nearly enough damage. Liquid, they're in pretty deep. Tim's walking away. Zai gets the finish. Chases. They buy back. Mickey hoping to escape. And Zai will TP away.
Oh, the buyback from Tibbs.
He was ready for it. They knew. Yopaj still trying to chase Boxy, keeping him under control. Mickey hoping to get out of here, but do they have the avalanche? The tree toss? The chakram? To break it.
How can you blink versus 2 chakrams?
It's impossible. But they'll have him here. Oh, Yopaj not quite in range. Throws out the avalanche. Mickey is TPing behind the tower. Tim spots him, but no. They don't quite actually see him.
Snowball's not quite fast enough even now. And boom, they find their moment. They find the way they need to play these fights with that Tusk. So important that save is going to be there to try and delay things. And just the BKB piercing control as well.
But this is where it really matters. That earlier buyback from Zai, he doesn't have it.
That's why they gave him the Aegis.
Another 3 minutes, and that is a heavy punish. They only have 4 heroes here. How much can Boom get? They know that this is their time. Although, Kenji Tim's over to the side. Yopaj tries to toss him away. That keeps him alive. Pretty big commitment. Jackie, BKB turn, he's dead. Mickey didn't stand a chance, and he has to buy back. This is Danger Town. Liquid could lose the game right here if they're not careful, and boom, want to get as much objectives as they can.
FPZ's right up front, still has the BKB. Nice stalwart tower here as Yopaj is hunting as well, looking, has Silver Edge, has Blink. One more toss back.
That's all they need. Matumba Man goes down, this game is over.
They're still BKBs though.
This game's over. And Liquid, they're not going to tempt fate. Or are they? Whoa. Matumba Man, BKB, they might have to give up racks here. Still 19 seconds. They turn, they find Mickey. If he goes down, that could be it. Doxy tries to interrupt this, and Mickey, he gets out. He survives. Matumba Man low, broken. Couple more punches down low, and going to fall. 2 minutes dead. Boom, they survive through the madness. Gonna set their sights now on the tier 4 towers. They actually don't have a creep wave. Wait, the buyback from Edge. They gotta get this back in here. It's still 2 minutes without Matumba Man, but Zai is back up with Mickey. No Boxy either.
It feels like they could just guide this creep wave in here though, right?
It's true.
I mean, the couriers are flying out.
They toss. Insania gets the 4 staff out. Boom. Bouncing between, do we go for tier 4s or do we go for the racks? They're going to set their sights now onto the tier 4s, try and finish this off here. Mickey slowing down what they can. The silence is out. The chakram already thrown. Zai pops the exorcism, trying to delay. This would be a miraculous hold if Liquid could manage it. Zai, BKB runs in. Tim's right on top of him. They're throwing out the impetus shots. I don't know if it's going to be enough though. Zai down low and eventually falls. 90 seconds gone. And I think Boom have locked this one away as everybody's dead. GG. Boom strike first blood.
Oh, Liquid holding on for so long there, and even taking the lead at a certain point there. When that Aegis comes up, they managed to grab that, to get the Agnums. It felt like maybe this was their chance to finally be in full control of this game, but Boom answer back with an excellent base defense. Again, sort of just talking about how we need to play this fight and executing. I don't think that could have gone much better for them.
They did everything that they needed. Again, in one of the most high-stakes matches that you can get, Boom show up on the big stage, making it happen. I feel like the Viper a lot of times was like that difference maker, getting the AC, having all that like big physical damage. They needed that extra bit when they didn't have it. And of course, so many times able to lay down that nether toxin, break those heroes. It was really tough for Liquid to play into those.
Yeah, truly on both sides. It came down to a lot of just like damage issues across the board in terms of like how much do you need to actually chew through this whole team.
How much regen is there?
Yeah, there's just so many tanky heroes across both sides. And so getting the Wraith Pact, especially helping out in the later game, of course, and then combining that with the AC that was there, the Bloodthorn buildup as well, trying to like finally nail down this target as much as they can. And then it boils down to a matter of BKBs, which are obviously very important now with the long cooldown in this patch. It feels very hard to fight without them. And so you're seeing people maybe holding them a bit too long. But Tim's, my guy, coming in there, big stuns, big saves with the snowballs, incredibly impressive and worthy of a 9th pick Tusk performance.
Absolutely. Well, an impressive display, and Liquid going to need to go back to the drawing board. We'll see what happens game number 2, but now back to the panel.
That's right. It was an absolutely crazy game here in game 1, and Boom coming away with that victory. Before we jumped into this game, though, my lovely panel, you guys talked about how it was going to be very decided based on these lanes, how these teams could transition out of it. And so obviously, how did these lanes go? Did the matchups happen how you expected?
Well, bot was much better than I thought for Liquid's side. Like, this was a lane they were meant to lose pretty hard, and I think Matumba Man actually got first blood onto the Viper, which shouldn't happen. Meanwhile, top side, Liquid did this really nice 2 sentries play. They blocked the small camp and the medium camp on the high ground jungle area, which meant that like this Chen was just really struggling to access early creeps.
Yep. Don't underestimate the power of Alchemist, like right now in the laning stage. I feel that the hero without Grievous Greed is quite potent, right? Like you go Acid Spray, you get a level or 2 in the stun and it can work. Plus the Enchantress is there, so it kind of ties up into what you just said, Sheep, right? Like it can get kind of nasty for the Viper early on, but for me, later is where the Viper truly did shine. It didn't matter, like you can feed a couple of kills, but that break was always coming into play, and he is a natural born tank breaker, right? And they had a ton of tanks on the side of Team Liquid.
Yeah, tank breaker while being like the tank himself. He was always positioning himself in the far forward of these fights. He dished out the most damage on his side. I know Sheep and I have had criticism at time for him where it's like, you know, FPZ hasn't looked great when he's playing these Razors, when he's playing these Vipers. This game, he carried. Like, he carried so hard. He looked amazing.
Yeah, like, I really loved how he played on the map early game. Like, because we criticized, like, oh, when Collapse plays it, it's like, oh, he's so slow, like, he's not able to get involved. They got involved really well. Like, Yopaj got Blink on Tiny, and then, like, Viper's playing super aggressively in Liquid's jungle, so when Yopaj starts that fight, Viper's there. Then they smoke him into the triangle, get that kill on Matu. Like, he was so involved.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because if you look at their whole draft, it's meant to be involved. Every single one of them is meant to be constantly fighting, the way they itemized as well. This isn't your CK with a Midas and I don't know, like into another farming item and then sometimes in the future I'm gonna fight. No, they realized we are playing into an Alchemist. The only way we will win this game is if we're all farmed, evenly distributed across the game, and if we're all fighting together, like they're supporting each other. And they had a lot of sustain as well coming from the Chan, support from the teams that rescues someone like a CK so many times so that he can heal up a little bit with the hard pop that armlet.
Yeah.
Overall, I really think that Boom Esports executed their draft very well.
You talked about that, they hit their timings, they itemized well, but there was that 30-minute Roche fight that really didn't go in the way of Boom. That was probably one of the turning points, or the moments that they looked shaky. And why was it that Liquid was able to take advantage of that and actually win that team fight compared to others?
Liquid really set up and positioned well, and I think also there were some misplays on the Boom side. Like, we had started with Yopaj blinking in, popping his BKB, realizing, oh shit, I screwed up. I just got a BKB TP out of here. He comes back, but then this Roche fight's happening without a BKB. Tim's tries to overplay the Roche Aegis steal, like he's positioning above the Roshan pit to try to get a steal on the Aegis, but Liquid's ready for it. They're like basically zoning him away. They actually jump him while they secure the Aegis for themselves. So I think Liquid just played the Roche fight better, and Boom just screwed up a bit.
Yeah, that Roche was bad, but the next one was even worse. But
true,
as they got it for free, right?
Yeah.
Like Liquid went in there, they got the Aegis Cheese and the Aghanim Scepter for Timber, which seemingly brought them back into the game. But I think it's a good testament of what the difference between these two drafts are and how Boom played, because even with that gift from God Gaben himself, Liquid were unable to actually break the side of Boom's.
Yeah, well, it looks like Tim's is going to be the MVP for that task. How important do you guys think it was, especially being the last pick for Boom? Had a little bit of a lane swap up as well.
Oh, I really liked its ability to disable Alk during, these BKBs are shorter and shorter, the longer cooldowns. If you're able to disable a core for any amount of time during that, it's so good. And the punches were like showing off late game, I think, very effectively. These snowball saves were out of control this game. The cores were living for so much longer than they should. You're able to extend to a point where Skem has mech back off cooldown or the Chen ult healed and just save everyone.
Yeah. Do you think that's also why it was a little bit difficult for Liquid to push that high ground per se when they had that advantage, when they had Aegis?
I feel like they have the advantage, but the advantage is mostly on the Alchemist and a little bit on the Timber, and everyone else is kind of there. Meanwhile, on the side of Boom, you have multiple heroes that are evenly farmed, that are able to run around your backlines, kill off your supports, and then deal with the Alchemist later on. Perhaps that was their biggest issue when it came to actually utilizing the advantage that Josh usually gives.
Yeah, and with an Aegis, they don't have like the heroes that actually go high ground. Like, you're pushing into a Tiny who can toss people back, and it also just isn't like you've got Timbersaw, you have got Death Rock, but by that point, every single fight felt like Zai was just getting blown up from full to zero. So they just didn't really have the heroes that felt like that could break the base in the late game once Boom had all this farm on 3 cores.
Well, that is the conclusion of Game 1. We're going to jump to a break, and Game 2 between Liquid and Boom will happen shortly soon.
It's time for us to grab ourselves another talent member. It is Lizard, and I am going to be looking at him to draw an amazing Dota 2 hero, completely of your own invention. Lizard, are you ready for the challenge?
I don't know. I've prepared. I've prepared a little bit.
You pump up enough for it?
I'm pumped up.
Okay,
pumped up. But
shirt is tight.
I'll try. I'll give my best.
Start your drawing. How is it going to look? Where are we beginning with this?
All right. We'll start
He's
with the
looking
nose.
at some picture for reference.
Yeah, I have a very
Oh my
wide
God.
chin.
The nose looks like something else. I will be honest. I will be.
That's the head. It's very bad though. Huh? Did I tell you that I'm really good at drawing?
No, you didn't tell me you're really good at drawing, but just like, oh my God.
That's the hair. This triangle is gonna be the hair.
Triangle is the hair.
Yeah,
Okay, perfect.
Do you like it?
I would. Very similar to my style, so sure.
The name is gonna be Giga Chad.
Giga Chad, the hero,
yeah.
is in full. So, is this his legs so far?
Yeah, those are the legs.
Where's his feet? He needs to walk. You know, walking is.
Why do you have to keep it complicated, man? Keep it simple. There.
There we go. Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
good.
So this arm's a little bit bigger than this arm, but we're there. Oh, now we're getting okay.
But this one, you have to imagine it. It goes
really long.
Yeah, it goes across the screen.
Powerful hand.
He's gonna have 3 spells.
What's his ultimate?
He doesn't need it. It's just 3 spells.
Okay.
There are some heroes. They
First one then.
First spell is gonna be. It's gonna be a pump.
A pump. All right.
Pump.
I like this.
Yeah.
He's getting pumped up and ready for the day. This is what you do. You do push-ups before every broadcast.
No. He pumps up his allies. Actually, it's an aura.
Oh,
it's not
nice.
even.
So this is really you on the desk. You're like just giving him a good mood before you go on.
Exactly. I hope.
So it is
I
you.
hope. So he just walks around, and you don't know, but there's Omni Knight. He has this Degen aura. This is against it. Like it's the opposite. It's the inverse Omni Knight
making
aura.
a counter already. I like it.
Everyone is faster. Everyone is more chill. You know, with and around him.
They get some extra strength.
No negative energy
Extra
around.
strength?
Extra strength, of course.
I like
Plus 10% extra strength. Percentage based.
Percentage
Based.
huge increase.
Of course.
Late game, he's going to be hella good.
Second one is going to be Scold. Scold, yeah.
Okay.
This one, whenever there's flame going in the chat, someone is trash talking.
Someone's being naughty, yes.
Yeah, he scolds them. Ultimate of Giga Chat should be. Yeah. Come on, help me out here. Give me some idea.
Okay.
I'm
so you don't want him to be aggressive.
No.
He's very strong.
No. Yeah, very strong.
Think of Rocky when he's made it to the top of the stairs and he's cheering out something big like that, and they can push everyone back maybe. You know, it's like just a whoa, and just a roar and cheer.
Roars so hard everyone runs away.
Yeah, there we go.
Giga Chad roar.
Giga Chad roar.
Giga roar. Giga roar. All right.
Pump, Scold, and Giga roar. Are you happy with your Giga Chad?
I'm satisfied. It's enough. It's enough. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look at it. Let's show everyone how Giga Chad is looking. The head is massive, the hair is pointy, the arms are okay, one's off the screen, and the legs are non-existent. Lizards.
This is terrible.
What has happened? Congratulations.
Thank you very much
for taking part.
Thank you for accepting my idea.
I will accept any idea at this point, because the Dota world can get wild, especially if Lizard is drawing them.
power can be found in any number of places. Scientists will tell you that it comes in newtons. Gamers will say that it can be found in silky skills. We will say that the power lies in real thrills, in the play with perfect ping, in the runes and crystals, in every frag and gank, in your personal winnings. Lock and load for PGL Arlington.
Hey, buddy! I said good day, sir!
I hope you all enjoyed that content piece during the break as much as I did, because before we jump into talking about Game 2, round of applause. Lizard, amazing artwork.
My man, can I come in? Oh, wait.
You were about to steal my line.
I didn't steal it, though. I didn't say it. It's fine.
No, you say it.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, can I commission a piece of art from you after this?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah?
I'm available. Hit me up.
All right, I'll let you know what my hero idea is.
I don't know why I accepted to do that.
It was great. I did really like it. But I do want to talk about Liquid Boom game number 2. It is an elimination series, so one of these guys will be knocked out of the major after this one. In game 1, we did have a post-game breakdown of it already, but something else that I realized is Liquid kind of missed a lot of their timings, a lot of their power spikes, and I want to know how that's going to affect them coming into game 2 and how are they going to refocus to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah, there was like a lot of small problems. For example, they're playing with a Shaker, but they're not giving him space. You look at Xinq's Shaker, he always gets a lane. He always gets farm. I think Boxy focused a lot on making like smoke ganks and rotating mid and trying to help there, and it meant that like when Yopaj hit his blink timing, he didn't even have level 5. So if you're going to draft that again, I think they just need to be more aware of it, because with having that slow of a start, they're not able to defend their like mid tower, then they lose the first Roche, and this really set them back.
Do you think that that's maybe a problem with having something like an Alchemist on your team, your Shaker? Usually your position 4 or 5 should be somewhere breaking the smokes incoming in his direction, right? But they can't because they're farming. They're getting that item. Maybe that's something that they can switch up if they go for an Alchemist once again.
Yeah, potentially. We'll see if they go for the Alchemist again, because Game 2 draft on our screens. Winter Wyvern, Dawn. Nothing changing up there too much in bans with the Lone Druid and actually Bristleback now.
Yeah, Razor is left in the pool this time around. And Marcy as well.
Of course. So Liquid, pick her up. Open with it.
Yeah, there's a Rockman too, right?
Yeah, I think Liquid's thinking they can get the either Marcy Razor, or they feel like they have an answer for Razor if Boom snag it away. Boom in general haven't looked good with Razor. FBZ's Razor's just not been one of his comfort picks or one of the heroes they've excelled with. So I think smart of Liquid not to just feel like, oh, we're first pick, we got to take Razor. This is, what the hero everyone's first picking.
Yeah, Marcy is actually their most played hero here at the major, has a 50% win rate at the moment. So you can see why they would favor that one a little bit more.
They could also do like a Dazzle in response on Boom. I don't want to see the Razor on Boom. I much prefer the Viper. The Tiny works for me as well. I just didn't want to see Razor from them.
Mm-hmm. Is it more likely to be a Yopaj Tiny, or we do have that potential for it to be flexed to 4, right? Because that's what we saw in game 1.
Totally flex. It's I think coming into this series, it was Tim's most played hero, so it's very much that's a lot of the strength of Tiny being picked in the first phase, is that you can wait and see what your opponents pick and then decide where Tiny is going to go best.
For me, these 4 picks go a little bit deeper, as well as they do show us that neither one of these teams truly wants a puck.
Yeah.
Hero, if you have an opportunity to pick Tiny and puck in the first phase, most of the teams would jump on that, right? Like they would instantly get it. But not Boom and not Team Liquid, it seems like.
Yeah, last game it was the very final ban of the last ban phase. It was finally Liquid's like, I guess they need a mid, we should ban puck.
Mm-hmm. The other thing is the DP being picked up here means when we saw the opening last game, it was DP Earthshaker. Now it's DP Marcy. How does that differ from that Earthshaker? How is it a better opener, do you feel? A little bit stronger, a little bit more comfort for Liquid?
It's definitely not as greedy. You can rotate on mid with a lot more speed than Shaker. Shaker has to do a lot of positioning where he wraps around, gets that Fisher block. Marcy, she can just be hiding in the trees behind mid and then rebound off them. It's much easier to execute, and she's not relying on... I mean, her Blink Dagger timing obviously is good, but it's not like... It doesn't limit her ability to have impact without it.
Yeah, she can always use the rebound to initiate for the disposers. It does feel like at a certain point, like your Marcy needs a Blink Dagger and will need to...
Aether Lance at least, right?
Yeah.
Like she needs the Lance and the Blink Dagger, but one of those needs to be quite quite fast. It needs to come quite soon in the game.
Another hero from last game, potentially Chen. Did you guys feel that it was that impact?
It gave them a lot of early. It was just the tower taking. Like as she mentioned, they took that mid tier 1 tower for free. They got a lot of map control out of it. I don't think they played again because of the Dazzle pick. Okay. Tim's is not a Chen player. It's almost always. I feel like it's only Schem. At least almost always Schem.
All right. Some of these bans coming out. The Alk is actually going to be banned by Boom, which means Liquid aren't going to be able to pick it up.
We see a lot of bans from that game 1. The Alchemist, the Ench on one side, the Viper and the Chaos Knight on the other. Team Liquid is like, okay, we just lost you guys with a very specific draft. If we just get rid of most of those heroes, it might go a bit better for us.
But does that give you confidence? It almost feels like, it's like...
It can go both ways, right? Like, it can be... At first, you can think like, oh, they're so scared of these heroes and they don't want to play against them. Or you can think like, yeah, we believe that that's the only thing they can beat us with, so let's ban it out, and everything else that they pick out we're comfortable against.
Yeah, I think this next pick phase will say a lot about Boom's current mental state for me in terms of their confidence, because their comfort is in the pool. Maz in, Ember in, heroes that they've successfully won against like the hardest teams with, these are here and available for them if they want to take it. And if they... Like, it's nice to see their growth as a team. Like, last game they don't have these heroes and they still beat a team like Liquid. It's amazing. It's like, Boom is improving in this tournament so quickly. Obviously, like, we talked a lot about like Mushi's help. He helps with the drafts. Like, this is great. I'm super hyped. I'm super hyped to see what Boom come with.
I was going to say they're thinking about that last ban, but it is going to be bad. If Boom wanted the Ember, do you snag it up now, even with the potential to be... Doesn't matter, it's going to be Razor. Can't get my thought out fast enough.
I've seen this matchup quite a bit. Let's just see the next pick. They get with the Chen, right? Like, we've seen that Prophet Chen so many times, and the TB, which makes sense as Zeus has been banned out, right? Like, they were going to get one of the Illusion heroes, most likely. I'm not the greatest fan of Razor versus that Prophet. I've seen actually a DP as a response to him in the Chinese region. Like, you get it very early on, he can't just link you up and follow you around as the spirits are destroying, and he can't link up anyone that's next to you as the ghosts will eat him alive, so...
Oh,
they get the timber.
Like swapping heroes, like Liquid's like, we'll take the Chen, and Boom's like, okay, well, we'll take the Timber this time around.
It's actually the first time we're seeing Liquid picking up Chen this major as well, so we're going to see what they've learnt from it being played so much by other teams.
Yeah, this is hype though. We talked about how we didn't want to see FBZ on the Razor. It's going to be Jackie. This will be an FBZ Timber Saw. Last time they played it didn't go too hot, but... It's still a hero that he's incredibly comfortable on, and I really like it into the Terrorblade and the Chen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a reason it was picked last game too by Liquid. Like, I don't think Timber was a bad pick. They're playing into the Chen CK, which similar idea to the Chen TB. It's like this illusion carrier that wants to, take objectives. Chen, same thing, lots of summons. You got to defend these towers.
Yeah, and Timber poses this problem where he's going to take the top tower and take the map space of Liquid, force TB into that triangle area. And I've seen teams struggle with this where they've had a DP and she's had to have a lot on her shoulders, where she's the one that solely has to deal with the Timber. So not only does she want to sit in her off lane and take that tower there, but she also wants to go top and rotate and make sure Timber's not getting too much. So teams can feel a bit spread out.
Yeah, so that Prophet, you'd rather be taking on that tier 1 tower on your off lane than slowly transitioning towards the mid or the tier 2 down bottom, farming up, right? You don't necessarily want to always be on the defense. And right now, they don't really have a lot against the Timbersaw, right? Yeah. Like, out of all these 4 heroes, it feels like a pretty decent Timbersaw game.
Yeah, before Timber was picked, I was thinking maybe if they were going to pick Ember, that may be where they consider it because it gets banned now. The other option is, I think Puck still looks pretty good for Boom if they want to do 4-position Tiny. I guess the big question is, where's Tiny go?
That's literally what I was leading up to. Now that we have... you stole my point. No, but it is, now that we see Ember being banned, do you like the Tiny being 4, or are Liquid going to have to split their bans here, ban a good mid and also ban a good 4?
Well, they can ban whatever they feel like is just a threat to their draft, but the Tiny, I think, looks good as a support and a core. Like, if Yopaj gets it again, we saw he instantly got his blink and started making moves on the map. Like, you want to threaten TP before he hits any timings. Like, Scotty poses a massive problem for Boom. If they do a tri-core of Tiny, Razor, Timber, it's like super hard to deal with post Scotty TB. Yeah. So getting that blink early, you can just burst down TB super easily.
Yeah.
They can just invade the map with the Timber.
Boom's going to have overall last pick, right? So Liquid are going to have to try and assume here, see where that Tiny is going to go, what's going to complete their draft that can sort of cover a lot of bases no matter where they end up flexing this Tiny.
Feels like they need a team fighting mid. Like they have almost no team fight, they have the Marcy to initiate with, but that's kind of item dependent, at least later on in the game. So I think getting a mid laner that brings a bit of team fight, like that's why I think Pengo's getting banned by Boom. Puck looks okay on Liquid, although I think if you pick Puck, it's Boom will probably just do mid Tiny against you, which, is playable.
Yeah, that's the problem for Liquid, because there's 3 heroes that you might face against on that mid lane. It could be the Tiny, it could be the Razor, it could even be the Timber, right?
And it could be the last pick.
And it could be the last pick.
There's
exactly.
3 and a mystery.
So you need a playmaker, you need something that will help you against the Timber Saw, something that can take him down in that mid game, but at the same time you have to worry about, if I'm melee, Razor might just completely dominate me. Same goes for Timber. If I'm something like a Puck, perhaps Tiny will have too much of a good time on that mid lane.
Yeah, but that's where, because of that problem, Puck's the hero that stands to me, because maybe the Tiny matchup is slightly disadvantageous. It's not honestly that bad. Puck just is, as proven by this tournament, like good almost any game.
Yeah.
Like any other mid
not
pick can maybe be counted more.
Between these 2 teams, though, right?
Yeah,
especially
absolutely.
for Boom.
Yeah.
Maybe the Conquer alludes to a Puck. Other than that, it seems like they could just go the standard Void
I mean
Spirit.
for Liquid?
Sorry, yeah, for Liquid. Yeah.
Yeah, they pick it up. It wasn't banned at all, and they get a lost phase. It feels like Boom at least thought that was like in their pool, like you guys said, with that Tiny there. So now Boom gets to answer it.
Yeah, I think they can do Tiny mid and then pick a 4 with some added disables, like Tim's likes to play Shadow Shaman type heroes, for example. That's an option. Otherwise, I just don't think there's like any obvious mid that, like, the DK is a playable mid, but it's not really what you want Yopaj on in such a big series, even though it can maybe work.
Yeah, there's maybe like a Rubik. You get a lot of magic burst from him. You get that instant lift disable. Could be nice. It is a bit of a greedy 4, but it does give them some like lane push.
Snapfire still.
So you 2 are mainly focusing on countering and catching out this Puck, right? Like, as that's something that they are lacking a little bit on the side of Boom. They go with the Void Spirit instead.
That ain't it. This hero has been suffering so hard this tournament against Puck. I don't like this matchup, but.
So apart from that mid matchup, though, having all of the draft completed, seeing both sides 100% now, do you think Liquid are going to be able to have the chance to bring it back?
I'm swaying Liquid's way, actually. Like, I completely agree with Sheep. I don't think that Void Spirit without any combination like Void plus Sky is that amazing against Puck. And I also like that Matu is on the ultimate win condition this time around.
Yeah.
They should be able to hold on long enough for him to get the Skadi +1 item and dominate the game.
All right, so you feel like Liquid have timings that they can hit a little bit more accurately in game 2?
Pretty much.
Gods?
I like Liquid's draft. I just think Boom's play in game 1 kind of sold me a bit. I think they're at least a slightly better team, and I'm going to lean towards them because I think they've set up FBZ's Timbers will have a good game, and Jackie excels on some of these slightly less greedy carries at times. So Razor for him is a hero I feel like can do well this game.
Yeah. And your final thoughts, Sheep?
I really like Liquid's support duo. I think Boxy's going to have a much easier game on this Marcy, and with the damage between like a Marcy, a DP, and a Puck, they can just kill like all these heroes if they just take the right fights. I would like Liquids a lot more this game.
All right, well, all the Liquid fans out there are siding probably with our panel as well, because this match isn't just for Liquid to continue their run in the major, but it is also the potential direct invite to TI as well on the line. As we jump into game 2 of this best of 3 series, it is Trent and Lyrical.
Thank you so much, Nat. And yes, Trent, that is the stakes that we're dealing with here. You got to win or you got to go through those brutal European qualifiers that they tried to go through last time also. Ended up coming a bit short. It's a tough road ahead, but also could be a bit of a tough game. The thing I found interesting about that was the panel like they're all like, yeah, we like all the other heroes, and usually it's last pick that's supposed to be that big one.
Yeah.
This, it was like the FBZ Timber. That's like the really good one, I feel like.
Yeah, Timber obviously set up for a pretty decent game, I'd say, at this point. And, I mean, Boomer trying to defy the meta. They just left that puck in there. They said, like, we took the tiny. Oftentimes, teams would still leave the puck in, and then eventually either would be banned by the team that perhaps, like, saw the tiny. It was like, okay, we don't want them to get, like, puck tiny. But then sometimes even the team that takes tiny in that second phase, they just ban puck anyway. So, like, I still don't want to deal with this hero. It's so frustrating. It's very annoying. You can't catch it. It pushes waves. It seems unkillable. And then... They pick Void Spirit, who has been struggling versus Puck. Sure, the lane might go okay, but you just get coiled once and coiled twice. It's like you're a little rattlesnake with coils all over, and then you die.
Yeah, that's right.
Lot.
Rattlesnakes do die a lot.
It's Texas.
Unbelievable. It all comes back around to that. It truly does. No, it's true, though. I think that, the Puck has proven to be the better hero throughout a lot of this. But for me, I'm wondering if this Yopaj Void Spirit might just be enough, if that's enough to get them over the hump. They now have this tiny, so they can sort of play the dual forms of initiations with tossbacks or Yopaj going in, and then you've got those other big heroes to sort of bring the sauce at the end. You got the Razor, you got the Timber Saw, and Matumba Man. It's going to be a tough game for him. This has traditionally been the counter. Timber Saw facing off against Terrorblade for a really long time, and you've got one of the best Timber players in the world playing it on FBZ. This is the original hero that he became known for.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to go into that second phase, like the hardest part of the draft to me for the first pick team, and they go Terrorblade Chen, and they just get instantly timbered, and it's like, oof.
Yeah.
I feel like that's, as either of those heroes, it's kind of the last hero you want to see.
Well, this is a good start. Liquid managed to find the 3 bounty runes. The other thing that we should mention about the Liquid side, though, is you talked about how good that Puck is against the Void Spirit. Also, you mentioned this during the draft, a way to hunt the Dazzle, something that we've seen be imperative. Dazzle has looked so good. Maposhka's plays on it the other day were really good.
Maposhka and Picho both really showing off yesterday, right? It kind of felt like the last couple series yesterday got decided by Dazzle. It was just so insane with the Grave. And in this game, combined up again here with a little bit of regen there on the Timber Saw, where even if you get down to that low HP, you get that little boost from the Grave that gets you back up there.
Dazzle.
Just like that.
Voice.
Yep.
I wish I knew more of his voice lines. That's the only one that I know. It's like a Pokemon.
All right, well, you have homework when you get back. Just some more Dazzle games.
Exactly. Dazzle. All right, I'm done. Matumba Man gonna chase down Tim's a little bit, and that was a Penitence, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Penitence with the Terrorblade meta. Kind of scary.
Get some good deeps in. And now you need to get a lot of value out of this. The early lane is the part of this matchup where it feels like you have the most potential for the Terrorblade, and FBZ already starting with that armor has to get it built up, hides away before Matumba Man heads on back to last hitting here. So some interesting things to watch for is Tim's trading hits with Insania, but Matumba Man moves in. A couple more punches, the pendants, but the Metamorphosis wears out.
Good timing.
Let's get away.
Yeah, keeping an eye on that duration being left there. That gave a lot of space to FBZ. Like, you see how he plays the lane, right? Because like he only has trees, so they know that they're not going to get tossed over or something like that, but instead he's splitting their attention like that, and that lets FBZ get up to the wave before he's level 3, because typically you have to wait for 2 points reactive.
Skem turns onto Zai, who's going to go down first. Boxy draws first blood. Zai will fall, and maybe Boxy can't quite catch up to Jackie and find the touch there. So 1 for 1, but first blood going over to Liquid.
Yeah, Boxy, that's a great start for a Mercy, though. Getting to level 2 and getting that first blood. Still getting clipped by Jackies. They play the wave in the jungle right now, though, as he hits him with that big plasma field.
As you can see up top here, Tim still trying to play intercept on the Matumba Man, and Insania will keep throwing those penances out as Yopaj makes the rotation over, finds the bottle, refill, and Mickey gives him a couple of punches along the way.
This is where we're going to start to looking towards particularly the next bounty runes, and then the 4-minute water runes is like, what kind of assistance are you going to get in these situations? Because FBZ is level almost level 3, so he can get a little bit more isolation time. Up here, you can kind of like leave him alone as Tim's. You can make these rotations because there's not that much a Chen and a Terrorblade should be able to do, right? You should be able to Timber Chain away from most situations once he's level 4, and even then with just the regen, you can kind of walk a lot of this off. So I'm expecting some plays towards that mid lane because we know how much both of these heroes rely on these bottles.
Right. Yeah, if you can stop one of those bottle refills, it makes all the difference in the world. And You can, of course, set up
greeting the jungle right now. So he's just farming up a little bit, keeping an eye on things. And actually, yeah, Tims does come in.
Yeah, good play there to catch on to Boxy. So that stops the jump onto Tims. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, the toss back.
Good play. Still Tims jaunting forward. And with Mickey nearby, it's going to be enough.
Unfortunately, he's not a wolf.
No.
He does need armor, so it's a bit rough when it's the early levels on Tiny.
Makes the move. Yopaj, 4-minute bottle refill. Mickey makes the run over. Across. Insania is there to help him out. And won't have to worry about any extra chase or a second remnant coming from the Void Spirit. So they do manage to get that refill. That was much needed, though.
It's a lot of time, just like running around in circles, it feels like, for Mickey as well, right? But gets back for the next range creep, so hits it with the orb, gets the level, and meanwhile up top here, you can see that even during the meta time here, like Tim's only level 2 does get the pull off, so very important to try and help out this lane for FBZ, draw it away from the tower, prevent some of the safety from Matu, but at the same time, like meta's still up, so he can rotate a little bit over there. Jackie getting low down bottom.
Yeah, has to be careful. Zai's putting some punish on him with Boxy as soon as they come back to the lane.
Yeah, and this next rebound dispose could be a play here if he's still low HP.
Toss on to Matumba Man, level 4, and will be forced to TP away. Back
I think
tier 2.
That was kind of scary because you'd think there might have been close to level 3 on Tim's, but yeah, as expected. When the cooldowns came back for Boxy, they just go right again. And even Jackie doesn't have any more regen down there, so only has the wand to rely on. Has to be very careful because of that range of initiation from the Marcy. And so he actually hasn't gotten a spot on her yet with any vision either, I don't believe, as he wasn't in range of that ward when he went to that high ground, so he still has to be very cautious.
Yeah, and they're going to pull the wave all the way back. So Jackie kind of in no man's land for a little bit, but this is, again, the sort of price you pay as they're bringing 3 heroes top. Jumps onto Mickey, not going to be able to connect on the Remnant. That could have been a kill.
Yeah, that's the level 6 play, right? Getting that first tier from Yopaj, not able to get a finish.
But top lane, they're going to pressure this. Boom. Take a good amount of damage onto the tower as FBZ 3 points in the reactive armor. When he gets level 6, I mean, even when he's close to it, you can see that Matumba Man's just out. Does not want to be here at all. Off to farm the jungle.
Kind of interesting that Skem's up here, too. What is Skem doing up here? He's coming to get some pressure in here alongside Tims. They want to really like, hunt through this jungle, you know? I mean, you can just say, like, you know, Jackie obviously can be on his own, but it feels like maybe Skem's almost like, what do I do? You know, my Timber's fine. He was matched versus a Terrorblade. I can't really help that much mid in a lot of situations. Kind of just hanging out.
Yopaj there gets a little bit unlucky. It's an arcane rune for Puck. So some coil plays could come in the next few minutes here, and that top tower does go down. So it frees up Boom's supports to make moves. And in fact, Yopaj is going to continue his movement all the way bottom, hoping to spot Zai down here. But Zai, does he actually show himself on the lane? It's coming a little bit late, and yeah, Yopaj, he's already TPing back home. So as soon as he shows theirs, I should feel comfortable coming out from the tree line. Some good plays. Easy peasy. At least at this early going, you can see that very little separating the two teams, but it is the Timbersaw that's sitting top of the net worth right now, as the Terrorblade had to head out and go off to the jungle.
Yeah, tower taken out. The classic play of Timbersaw versus Terrorblade, always zoning him right back to the jungle. Again, Terrorblade not the most concerned with the situation. Will start accelerating and farm, given that little bit of space. And now, full commitment in the bottom lane. They're going to pop that Exorcism. Zai reprising his role here on the Death Prophet. Didn't have a great game last match, I would say.
They're bringing in heroes to defend against this. They bring FBZ all the way bottom. Mickey's there with Boxy, but boom, they've got numbers. 4 on 4 as Tims runs into all of them.
Yopaj
Boxy goes for the jump. Yopaj ready to go round 2. The Grave is already out, trying to keep him alive. Tiny in trouble, does fall. The leash onto Yopaj, though. This is dangerous, and he can't quite get him with the silence, but FBZ still in trouble. Heal comes out, lots of regen. Dodging, trying to survive, but it won't be enough. Liquid, they had the stronger fight right now.
And Mickey, too, the patience on that coil, right? Where they're constantly harassing and zoning him these shows. He's waiting for Yopaj to show before he goes for it. Like, the silence gets burned, and that's kind of what baits in Yopaj. He's like, okay, no silence. I'm finally going to go at this point. Because he tried to wait even longer, hoping Mickey would coil. Then he gets coiled right away. Not able to really exert that much damage. Not able to help his teammates. And so, despite this attempt to try and hold it, he is TPing back to the mid lane.
Yeah, goes out of there.
Oh, he's getting the regen bottom at least.
Jackie.
Oh, I say that. Mickey TP too.
A couple punches, and Jackie down low. Matumba Man almost getting him on the low ground. Salva barely surviving. Hides off into the pit. Does he get out of there in time? No. Matumba Man cleans it up.
Oh, bad times for Boom. Jackie gets caught up top. Yopaj forced the TB mid, tries to grab the regen rune, but the observer ward that's near the Dire Ancients spotted the regen rune, so Mickey actually TP'd mid at the same time and orbed to the rune first. I mean, I guess it didn't matter that much. It's not like a DD, a haste or something like that, right. But Yopaj needs that, right? Like, he's trying to get back into this game. He's the lowest of the cores right now, and he also has this pressure to try and enable his teammates.
This is why this hero has so often been sort of thought of as a bit of a tough one to pull off. And teams were playing with it a lot and recently and have kind of started to veer away from it, but
you know.
But I mean, it still has its moments.
Yeah,
Magnum Scepter's solid.
The Yules as well, right? Versus the Puck, you want to get the Yules on them. You want to get the Aether Remnant down. Try and get this guy as much as you can. See if you can try and slow down Mickey's plan. But Puck, it's a tough hero to catch.
True enough.
We've learned that, it turns out, during this major. I don't know if you guys have watched any of it.
It's fair enough. 2-6. And Matumba Man getting this free time. The fact that he hasn't just been completely shut down by the Timber, it's what needs to happen. But it's still going to be a ways. You got to get into some survivability items. Needs to dodge when FBZ goes in for the kills. And the other thing that they've got on their side eventually is going to be this Dazzle Shard that we've seen be really effective against Terrorblade time and again.
Yeah, I think Skem had a bit of a weak early game on the Dazzle. Didn't really get much opportunity to actually pressure with the Poison like he'd like to on this hero. And then he's in a situation as well where there's two supports that struggle to make good smoke ganks and plays right now. He's playing the Dazzle, and they have Tim's on the Tiny rather, but he needs a little bit of time. Like, he was very low leveled. He just got to level 5, hoping to get the Tome out there. It's going to be a while before you see a Blink Dagger.
A very different type of initiation hero and things that you can get done on the Tusk compared to this Tiny.
Well, it's funny because you imagine Tiny is like all these toss-back plays, like how can it be bad? But if you just don't have the mobility and you're against these slippery and very speedy heroes, you might not get those tosses.
That coil, they pull him in. Oh, but he doesn't get to dispose. Good Remnant laid down by Yopaj for the save. 4 heroes get caught by that avalanche. Dispose afterwards, connects for the double stun. Yopaj pops that illusion rune, and that keeps him alive. Mickey backs out. Thinks about going back in again. Skem. Oh, that was a big courier kill.
Zai had just killed Tim's courier as well. But luckily for Tim's, he got his Tome delivered first, so Zai going to be hurting a bit there.
So they don't manage to take the mid tower off that.
That was a sick Aether Remnant, as you said right at the start there, to ensure the dispose wasn't there, because he went for the immediate coil snap, which I think was the right play from FBZ, because like you're going to get that distance afterward. They don't have that much chain stun if you can prevent that dispose from being there, so very solid play then. Of course, with the Hood, can still tank up quite a bit of this current damage here from Liquid, as in the earlier parts of this game, it's almost all magical.
Radiant's bottom tower
Unless you get caught in Exorcism or something.
Exactly, that's going to be the main differential, but likewise, it's going to be a while before Matumba Man really comes online. Trying to build into the Yasha next, already has the Bassi, that mana regen, treads, all the good stuff.
I'd say last game was kind of similar for Liquid, where things started to look fairly good. Like, game was kind of even. They had a gold lead more so because there was an Alchemist on their team, but there was a similar state where Jackie was very on his own, and he was just spending a lot of time farming up, getting these first couple items. And in this game, it's going to be that BKB on the Razor. And if you look over on the side of Liquid, there's not a whole lot that threatens him there.
No.
The downside will be, of course, that like it's hard to pressure fully into a TB because they might not be able to stop him from getting off the meta until they get into something like the Blink Dagger on the Tiny or the Agnum Scepter onto Yopaj. So that's probably going to be a while. And so it can be difficult when you have this sort of sustained and consistent damage to the fight that Razor provides versus someone like the TB who's going to have that save button of just sundering. plus in combination with a Hand of God and a mech that's done.
They need to have that like full lockdown type of scenario, and that requires you finding those remnants on these, you know, not the illusions, not the rest of them. There's not that like hex yet or something else to get the full burst. And seeing Jackie there, they know they could go, but it'd be a hard fight to take. And instead, Liquid gets set up to push this mid tower and finally claim it. Send in the little creeps, send in the illusions, and with no glyph, this will be the tier 1 tower dead.
And Mickey with a DD and a Witchblade. Puck's best item these days.
Yeah, it's really good. I think that was, he took the Stormcrafter, so none of the little flying harpies yet. Might see some of those in a bit.
Just zapping for now. And, well, Zai's Courier did revive. Will now deliver out to the remains of the Spirit Vessel. So no charges currently, but something we were missing last game.
That's right. Didn't see almost any of them. Bottom lane, some more pressure. Pop the Exorcism.
13 minutes here too.
If they could get this,
Exorcism into meta.
FBZ, they're right on top of an illusion. They see him immediately.
Well, he pops meta. They're committing.
This is a big commitment, but it's tier 2 tower. This
Jackie!
is huge.
Jackie, you want to come play some Dota? Or no, you're just going to farm BKB?
All right, sounds
then
good.
we're taking this.
See you later.
Now, this is a Chen game right
here. This is a good one. Coil afterwards. They find themselves a quick little jump now onto Yopaj. Oh, gets away, though. Barely able to escape. The Dazzle, not so lucky. Liquid, they retreat. But they got what they came for. Tier 2 tower down. Costs Exo and Metamorphosis, but you'll take that.
Yeah, it's expensive, but it's well worth it at this point. You just want to go back and return to farming for Matu, try and hold the rest of this map, and they're struggling to get that same pressure here from Boom. But again, I mean, they're waiting on this BKB from Jackie. That will present its own list of issues here for Liquid, as well as that Yule Scepter for Yopaj. So still a bit away, but 500 gold he needs to farm right now before he's going to get there. So Mickey continues to be safe and will hopefully be into a Blink Dagger at that point, I imagine, is his goal. Well, the smoke up here now. If he was paying attention, his creep did just run through that smoke, but obviously you'd have to be like looking at the creep at the same time, and looks like he might not have been.
And Sania in some trouble as they get the quick jump. And having used everything.
Coil in a couple seconds here.
Wait a minute. Maybe a chance. Dazzle.
Oh, look at that orb. Beautiful orb. What an angle.
Chase
How does he get two?
The coil. Can they kill him? Yes, they do. They find him. There's no Exo, but the damage might be enough.
Yo, Mickey?
Dude, he keeps running. Apparently, Puck is a good hero. I don't know if we knew about this. They're all falling just one by one. Jackie tries to get away. Tries to escape, but the BKB isn't there. You know, Chakram slow. Ooh,
he bought the recipe.
Now he's done.
Sometimes you wait 15 minutes for a BKB and you fight about 3 seconds too soon. And that's just Dota, you know? What happened? I mean, it looked like a good chase. They see themselves going for the Chen. Insania, I think he might have actually known by the way he was standing, or at the very least he suspected a smoke, because like the way he was positioned, he had the ward on the high ground, and being able to delay, like not even needing the Hand of God there too, to be able to offer up this great situation for the coil. Just the timings were the worst possible scenario for Boom. Everything was coming right back up at this moment, right? You can see the coil's not there at the moment, but eventually comes up. He gets the mech to delay, forces so many spells used, and even though you get Aether Remnant there from Mickey, he just this orb is so sick.
It's really
so it's like,
good.
Oh, what an angle. Like, come on. Catches on Yopaj too with that additional damage. The Witchblade helping out so much, then into silence. Oh, it's so nice.
These Puck players, man. They're really good. They make this hero just look insane.
And if it wasn't good enough already, then it tossed back the Razor trying to TP home too. Just 11-3 now for Liquid as they come back with a vengeance here in game 2.
It's the death gaze coming from Mickey there.
Yeah, he was just like, I have killed them.
Job done. Liquid blow open this lead. A 4K gold advantage for them, as they'll send out the illusions bottom, catch the next wave, and up top, Liquid set to try and pressure the top tier 1 tower, or if they want, maybe take a little walk into Roche. We'll see what they decide to do.
Yeah, it's a Chen lineup. They have Exorcism and meta. There's certainly no reason they couldn't do it. I'm sure they'd like to go for a play first. You can also see that they're sending the Chen creeps around with Boxy, right? And so In my genius, I attempted Helm Mercy. It wasn't as good. But if you have a Chen, you can just jump off the Chen creeps, and that's a lot better.
It's so strong.
But the best part is that when you buy the Helm, right, then you get the Shard on Mercy, which I know everyone loves. It might be the best Shard in the entire game, and then you can send in the Centaur and stomp with it, guys.
Toss in those creeps. So strong. So strong.
Maybe a new Shard. I mean, it's probably this one's actually a little bit too broken, I think. So we should probably get a new Shard for Mercy.
Yeah, that's what happens.
That's my thought right now.
I'm with that. Man, this pack leader's aura on the top of man.
Even Mickey, right? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's just so much damage, and this is all known. Boom, see that Roche is being taken underneath a ward. They actually are gonna go for a fight here. Can they get there in time though? Tim's the one that's up front.
All right, there is the BKB.
Roche
They're just a bit
lower.
too late.
They're not going to get there, but they do find one.
Oh, the silence.
Nikkei under control. Oh, the dispose. Boxy keeping his buddy alive, and they get the Aegis on the Terrorblade.
And they force the BKB.
Yeah, Jackie's done. That BKB, all for this.
All just because of the silence that was there to save Mickey. The chase down.
And they got another.
Oh, it's not the Dazzle of yesterday.
Pull him in. Knock him down.
Something tells me this won't be the last one of his graves that we see.
This is Mickey's game. He is completely taken it over. The early rotations, 6-0-3. Just rocking it.
Their own hubris of like in the ninth big buck.
Right?
Sure, they won't be that good.
I mean, there's a problem. He's not here as they go high ground, though. Yopaj looks for a jump, but doesn't connect the Remnant onto Matumba Man. And we see sort of the problem that you get with this hero. If you can't find those connections in those pivotal moments, it just does not manage to do quite as much.
Well, Boom will look with envy as they see the Philosopher's Stone, and oh, don't worry, they're going themselves. Okay, we're good.
Right.
Both teams Philosopher's Stone. It's fine. And that'll be on Scam, so he's going to try and get to that shard. Try and get that key item.
I mean, that's the thing.
Speaking of jealousy, I'm sure Tim's is like, you know I need a blink, right?
It's true. I gotta get there, buddy. And it is the sort of thing that they're waiting for on the side of Boom. If you can get that shard, if you can get that blink, the game starts to feel better. A lot of the moment here has sort of depended upon Yopaj finding these huge plays. And for Boom to win this, they need a little bit more out of these other heroes.
Yeah, he needs help. Like I feel like Tim's and Scam have not been able to play this game. I feel like they have not really had a chance to contribute very much at all.
It's just tough with the heroes they got. And they've got to find a way to do that for too long if they want to.
I mean, yeah, they have Tiny and Dazzle, which have been just such bad heroes this tournament, and not top tier #1 at all. No, it's just it just comes down to like the map movements that Liquid have had, and the ideas that Boom need to execute. The way that they're playing with like, oh, we're gonna wait for our Razor, we're not gonna play with them, and then your Dazzle's kind of like, well, if my Temper's farming, my Razor's farming, and I can't keep with a Void Spirit, what do I do?
Well, what are you doing to knock it on your high grounds? Still, what is that? 700 gold away from finishing the shard.
Yeah, but look, there's the blink for Tim's. That's a big item. He's smoked, no reveal.
This is the moment. Tim's looks for a toss back. Who's he going to find? Zai is the easy one. Matumba Man a little bit tougher.
They're trying to stand in the Aether Remnant for the toss back.
Moves in. The toss is there, and they get him. Well played. Just blows up Zai. That was executed perfectly. Boxy runs in. Matumba Man still far forward. Tim's gets punished for his jump, and Jackie, God, he just can't do anything against that Scotty. Matumba Man controlled. They have the leash, bringing him low. Sunder is ready if things get dicey. And they hand it on over. Dispose after. Boxy still chasing for FEZ. As a couple more punches from Matumba Man, but Dire looking good in this series so far as Liquid take the first racks of the game. 21 minutes.
Yep, Zai, I feel like 2 games in a row seems to have the same role, but this time it's working out a little bit better, being that front line and being tossed to death and not really caring too much as he takes his second fall of the game. Responsible for 50% of Boom's kills. Definitely feeding right now. Relieving the burden of Insania and Boxy of all being tied at 1 death each.
That's true. That's the way. They got a blink done on Marcy now, too.
Couple fluffy hats and a blink dagger. Now that's a Marcy player right there.
You love to see it.
Yeah, that feels a lot better, I think, than being on the Shaker last game.
6-0-4 for the Puck, 5-0-3 on the Terrorblade. The heroes that have mattered have not died, as Liquid have gotten everything that they wanted in this game. Dispose, the reaction. That might stop Boxy from dropping. No, they'll toss him back. Avalanche
Yeah, there's a coil in 1 second here. This is tempting.
Oh, coil. Tempting fate. Zai runs in with the silence. They find and kill Tims. Yopaj hoping to get out of there as FBZ, he doesn't really have anywhere left to go. They've got the Eul Scepter lift up. And FBZ tries to turn to fight to TP to get away. Will it happen? No! Zai shuts the door closed. And this game, it has completely gone off the rails for Boom. If I'm honest with you, I want to see this go to Game 3. This is going to be an exciting one. We'll see if it ends up happening, if Boom can pull it back.
Well, it's definitely looking that way at this point. You can't give much of a chance to Boom right now to try and get back to this one as they start marching up the high ground. 20 seconds away from a meta. About the same timing that this Aegis will be expiring on Matu.
Tier 3 tower already down. They need FBZ back up, but do not want to buy back. With only 15 seconds remaining, but your entire buildings, everything's going to be gone. And, I mean, Liquid might be gone too. They could just walk away.
Yeah, do they want to try and set up another play with a Remnant here with the toss back? Not going to be given an opportunity. It's Liquid head on back and they'll start grabbing stuff. So, I mean, we got the Shard on Insania as well here. So he's got himself an Ancient Black Dragon to go along with the rest of his crew. I love his creeps.
Well,
great set of units.
The Shard is done. The Blink is done. Boom, they've got all those items that they were kind of hoping for the first big fight. Unfortunately, they've taken a couple other ones, and it has really fallen apart. A smoke now from Boom. They've got to connect here onto something.
Yeah, and Matu, at this point, he doesn't have a BKB. He doesn't have an Aegis, but unfortunately for them, he is a Scotty, a Dragonlance, a Wand, some treads. He's a very tanky hero. And well,
now he got his BKB. All right, there it is. It's Tier 1
so,
tower.
Trying to kill Matu... it might be ambitious. They might have to try someone else. Insania is a pretty good target if you can get in there. Try and blow him up before you can pop the mech, as well as the Hand of God. But then at that point, it feels like they're limited on burst right now.
It's true. They need to sort of cycle through those abilities a couple of times while the Razor's just draining mana. And it's so hard for him to stand.
Good ward here from Boom, though. They have a general idea of where they're moving.
Tims. It's found. Zai.
Space.
And onto that Eul Scepter. Tries to get out.
A lot of space.
There is nowhere to go.
Whole expanding universe that surrounds us.
Tims, the space is made. Tims, the blink. Blink, Tims. Oh, Tims.
He has won.
Dude, that is, all right. That's the emotional boost they needed. Boom, it's time to pull it all back now.
You had no faith.
No, I didn't.
No.
Dire's middle tower.
I was sure he was dead. Nicely done, though. Tims makes it happen. Now,
everyone got like one more neutral camp. Yeah, all right, thanks, Tims. Let's go. And they'll lose in Tier 2, of course, but will Liquid push or will they wait? It could respawn in a minute, but of course, that could be a full 4 minutes from right now until Roche is actually there. So, if I'm Liquid, I'm feeling fairly confident at this point. All right, we got the setup again, though. The Aether Remnant's there. Tibbs is looking for the blink. Who wants to come stand there?
There is a question. How many times have we seen teams throw a lead like this?
All right, here it comes. There's the toss into the Remnant.
They got him. Controlled. Can they burst? But dispose. The answer came out. Matumbo Man, BKB, turns to fight. Control onto Yopaj. Will he get away? They have the Grave already there. Controlling Boxy. Tries to assimilate out. Skem dead. Does not have buyback. And Mickey, he hunts. He finds. He kills Yopaj. No buyback on any of these heroes. And with the Tier 3 tower glyph wearing off, it is going to be mega creeps at least, if not more. They tick into the gold right now for Yopaj, and it looks like Liquid might have enough in this series to even this one up. As they pull him back in, Tiny buys back. They buy back on Yopaj, hoping to make something happen, but everybody is dying. Everybody buys back, and Liquid will actually smoke and run away now. Insania the only one in vision. Tims looks for the toss back.
Another disperse, nice.
Boxy there for the save. They're out of meta. Maybe chasing a bit too far here. We will see. But boom, they're making him work for it. Mickey gets the silence now onto FBZ. Matumbo Man right on top of the Terrorblade, or rather the Timber Saw, and gets the kill. GG is called. That one was all Liquid.
You know why Kaya and Sanj is purple?
Why is that?
Because it's stained with the blood of Dazzle and Void Spirit.
Okay.
Mickey just hunting the entire game. He had one mission, completely completed it, and I mean, what more can you ask from a puck?
True. He handled business. That one orb that you were talking about by that dire radiant, or the dire triangle, was just so clutch. And this is what they needed. Backs up against the wall. This game determining whether or not they're going to be able to go directly off of the points for the TI. It was a huge moment for them. So one final game, a lot on the line. You love to see a game through like this.
Yeah, I feel like the draft there as well from Boom, maybe something where it kind of got away from them a bit in terms of the confidence levels there, like laying the puck through. Obviously, they did it on purpose, and they felt like they would have an idea to counter, but they weren't able to sync up their timings between their cores, and again, enabling the support duo. I really feel like Scam and Tim's struggled a lot in this game. So coming to the next draft, I imagine they're going to be putting some more priority on there. What happened to the Scam and the Tim's Rubik?
They need to make it happen, man.
Maybe
next game. We'll find out, but now back to the panel.
Yeah, Liquid keep those dreams alive here in Game 2. They take it up against Boom. And Lizard, you're looking really sharp. You're looking like you paid very close attention to that game.
Well, yes, I did. Thank you very much.
Then please, tell me all about it.
It was a very interesting game, a battle of wits on both sides. In the end, I feel like
True
Team
intellect
Liquid.
over here.
Yeah,
I actually can't take
I feel like your voice is too low. You gotta raise it a pitch, like really nerdy.
Yes, Team Liquid. Drafted for a win.
See, the thing is, Lizard was saying, don't pick Void Spirit in the puck, and no one listened. So he puts the glasses on, hoping they'll listen.
Yeah. Please reiterate it.
Now that you have the glasses, they'll
they might listen. They might pay attention.
By my stats that have been provided by Nahaz himself.
No way.
Void Spirit does not do that great against the puck, but yeah, the Aghanims build and everything that Void brings to the table for a team that picks it is good. However, in this particular matchup, so far we see Puck coming out on top. Is it maybe the problem of Puck just being too strong for anything to actually counter him? Perhaps. Like in Eastern Europe, we see Void Spirit plus Skyrat, Void Spirit plus Shadow Shaman actually dealing with the puck, but that's already two heroes that you're committing just to defeat that mid laner on the other side.
And even when you say that, like yesterday when we saw Outsiders vs Spirit, Puck became first pick, first ban.
Yeah.
So it's like even those teams at some point were finally like, well, I guess our counters don't even work. We're going to just ban Puck.
Yeah, I mean, this Puck got all the way to the last phase. The mid lane matchup was actually last pick for both teams, the Void and the Puck. And it's crazy to think that Boom had that much faith in that Void, considering it just doesn't really pair up that well.
Yeah, I think it shows a little bit of like non-flexibility in Boom because they already have like two Puck counters. Nisha plays the Timber mid against the Puck as his answer. The Tiny mid against the Puck has been a long standard thing. A lot of teams, are a little shy to pick Puck into the Tiny. And yet you're still lost picking this Void Spirit to try and deal with it, and it's just not going well. He's like 1 to 2k down net worth. The Tiny's ganks aren't working out. He's feeding on Tim's. Meanwhile, Boxy's ganks are going really well and just completely ensuring the lane.
I feel like these first 4 heroes on the side of Team Liquid, Dead Prophet, Chen, Puck, and Marcy, you can fit any sort of a hard carry with them. They will make you enough space. They will create that space for you to eventually carry the game.
Yeah, and the thing is that hard carries a TB who I don't feel was addressed either. And if anything, I think Boom's fall maybe with that last pick is, I think their last pick needs to address the TB more than it needs to address...
More than the Puck, right?
Yeah, like, make sure you have a good mid matchup, but your hero needs to address it terribly because the rest of your draft hasn't really. I think Timbersaw was just not enough and a bit of an underwhelming pick against TB in general. It's not enough by itself to deal with a TB, so... Not the response I think Boom needed with their last pick.
We see the scoreboard as well, and it was an insane game for practically everyone on the side of Liquid. I mean, the Puck and the TB, the two heroes that you guys were just talking about, didn't even die once. That's just so clear how many problems Boom had in that draft that they just couldn't address these things. But on top of that, the matchups and the team fights that occurred throughout these games were almost always in favor of Liquid.
Yeah, because they're also forced a little bit, don't you think, She? Because you're on the back foot, you don't really have that late game potential.
Yeah, in my mind, I clearly see that smoke that Boom made into Liquid's triangle where they tried to kill that Chen. There was actually a massive misplay there as well. So first, the gank takes a little bit longer because the Chen has his mech. He's able to stall for that extra couple seconds of time for the Puck to come in. And 2, poor Yopaj, he used his second jump on Void, like his ult, on a dead Chen. It's a complete misclick. It has to have been. And then he couldn't get out and died as a result. Like, it's so easy for Liquid to play this chase game where they just respond and kill them and run them down. Like, Mickey played out of his mind.
We said an issue that Liquid had a little bit from game one was that timing, those failed rotations, just not really able to hit those power spikes. It was clearly resolved by them getting this win in game two, but do you think that that was down to it being a little bit of an outdraft, or they just looked so much cleaner in their gameplay?
I think it was definitely cleaner gameplay, but I think they also had like a clear identity with their draft. Like they're the ones who took the Chen with a Death Prophet, so it gives you these clear kind of timings to play around. Like whenever you have Exorcism up, you just, and when your Chen hits this like mech timing with a couple of creeps, you go take those objectives. And something I think we've seen the best TP players and teams do is they get the TP involved early. Bring him to some of these early pushes. Don't just have him AFK farming while the rest of the team, gets the job done. They brought Matu to make sure they guaranteed those early objectives.
Like the objective taking, insane. I think Liquid have played really nicely around Roche in this game. Like Zai in both games on his DP uses his hero as like a body so well. As soon as they're doing Roche, he just runs out in the direction that he thinks he knows the enemy is and just completely breaks their smoke apart.
What I'm hearing from both of you is predictions, what Boom will pick, on what Boom has to do in this game to win it, and if you know exactly what their win condition and how they have to perform is, then it's kind of easy to set yourself up for success and do exactly everything that's necessary to break that game plan down. It doesn't hurt that you had good laning stage.
Yeah, it's hard to look at Boom's draft and say, okay, this is how they're going to win the game. Like, who's going to carry the game, or which player needs to like pop off or snowball. Like, maybe it's just Yopaj like winning his lane and going around making all these plays, but like you can't expect that to happen when you're playing into a puck and there's all this save from the Chen side. I just don't feel like Boom drafted themselves something that can really just win this game.
Yeah, I mean, this mid matchup again, like, look at it. It's not necessarily like a skill difference between Yopaj and Mickey. It is that puck versus Void, and the kills, the experience, the last hits, it just never went in favor of poor Yopaj.
Yeah, he was just totally shut down. I think the support rotations just mattered the most. Tim's was not very effective, and Boxy was very effective, and that's kind of most of what there is to it.
Yeah, and we talked even when we saw that we were happier seeing Boxy playing the Marcy compared to the Shaker. Shaker has looked bad this tournament, other than LGD.
Oh, yes. No. This is actually valid.
Look,
this is actually
everyone
valid.
keeps defending Shaker. Non-LGD teams have a 27% win rate on Shaker. Only LGD are preserving a 45% win rate for Shaker. And that's that's okay. That's like acceptable, but that includes LGD, who are 5-0 in the hero. So other teams are just not succeeding on the Shaker. I think OG's like the closest to making it work, but it's just not being a good hero for majority of teams in this tournament.
Now, better play from Liquid this game, but the better draft with that Marcy as well on their support. It means this series is going to a game number 3. It's happening after this break.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is falling. Radiant's top tower is falling. Radiant's top tower is
Howdy, y'all. It is me, Sir Action Slacks, here with James Banks, local British, and Team Liquid. How you guys doing? Introduce yourself. Who are you?
Hi, I'm
Insania. And who are you?
And I'm Jabs.
That's Jabs. Fantastic. Guys, we have a game here today called Beat the Brit. I'm going to say some some twang over here, some Texas sayings. You guys have to say who I'm describing. For example, I will say something and you'll say, oh, you're describing someone that is blank. Now, James is our resident Texas twang expert. They have to try to guess correctly. How much do you know about Texas sayings?
You just said I'm an expert.
Yeah.
Yeah, Texas sayings, I know about as much as you've said.
Fantastic, young man, and let the game begin. Number one. Now, I will say this without an accent. You can request an accent. You only get 3 accents here.
Can I choose which accent?
Yeah, absolutely. He'd charge hell with a bucket of ice water. What does that mean?
That was the least British thing I've ever heard.
I wasn't doing one.
I requested one.
I can't do it on command. I have performance anxiety. Sorry, wife. All right, he'd charge hell with a bucket of ice water.
Ass jobs.
Someone who...
Someone
who is an idiot. An idiot. Go ahead.
He put out a fire.
What? That's not a describing word of someone. That's an action word. It means someone is brave. Brave was the correct answer. He'd charge through hell with a bucket of ice water.
I just imagine him putting the ice water over a fire.
What did you say?
He's an idiot.
Idiot. No,
that's the same thing.
No, it's not. There is a
idiot's not
difference
the same
between
thing.
bravery and stupidity. Next up, he may not be a chicken, but he has hen house ways.
Yeah. Next.
Maybe he's popular with the ladies.
Okay.
Confident?
No, quite the opposite. Timid. Timid was the correct answer, so no points on that one. That's okay. All right, I got a different one. This one should be easy.
Okay.
This one is like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking competition.
What? I'm genuinely trying. I mean, when you read these out, I feel like I'm stupid. So maybe it's that.
Okay.
I think he's useless.
Useless, okay? Think about it.
You're the expert.
Think about
I'm
it.
no expert at this.
All right.
If it was Cockney rhyming slang, would be good. This is very hard. One-legged man.
Come on now.
Broken.
All right, no, the correct answer was busy. Very busy.
How does that work?
Very busy,
No
my
way.
friend. All right, so this will be our last one. I feel lower than a gopher hole.
You're depressed.
Lower than a gopher hole.
I don't even know what you said.
Okay, great.
Sad.
Sad. Oh, okay, that is true. It is sad. Congratulations. That's a tie, which means we'll have to go to a tiebreaker.
Tiebreaker, dude.
Tiebreaker.
Why is there a tie?
All right, here we go.
Why is there a tie?
That boy, like a...
How did you get a point?
I just said depressed.
Depressed is not sad.
It's the same, essentially the same.
Depressed is like
James.
really bad.
James.
I'm not saying they're the same in like a medical sense, but in the game sense, I feel like it's the same.
Oh, okay. I'll let you have that one. You know, you
Thank
have to
you.
cheat your way to a victory.
Thank
It's
you.
fine.
All right, now. What am I trying to say when I say, now we've howdied, but we ain't never shook?
I feel like that's inappropriate.
Okay?
What?
We never shook. It's something inappropriate.
You,
I think so too.
okay.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking?
Could you say it? Looking at the camera?
What do you think, Jobs?
Yeah, me too, actually. I'm a virgin. I don't know.
Okay, great. That's unnecessary information. The local Brit.
And only non-virgin. Help us out.
Excuse, I have
How
a
do you
son.
know this?
Go ahead.
Horny?
No, it is not that. It is simply a greeting. You know, when you say howdy, like, hey, I've howdied at you, but I've never actually met you. You know?
It sounded very sexual.
Okay, that's
I'll be
not
honest.
necessary
We all went
to
the
bring up.
sexual
All
way.
right,
Yeah,
I don't want to
definitely.
end on that one. So, last
So the
one.
tiebreaker's still going.
Tiebreaker part 2.
I like
Which
this
one?
one.
That one?
Yeah.
He got a hitch in his get along.
It is what?
He got a hitch in his get along.
He got a hitch in his get along.
Is that English? It is. Yeah.
That is the Queen's English.
It means he's nervous.
Okay. Hitch in his get along.
He's confident.
Confident. All right, and the Brit.
Broken.
No, the correct answer was sick. He's not feeling well. He's got a hitch in the
Broken
get
sick.
along.
If you get depressed, sad.
How about we settle this with an arm wrestling match between Banks and Mike?
Fantastic. All right, put it on right there, Banks. Beat the Brit arm wrestling match. Here we go.
Have you seen this guy's arms?
Get in there. Do it right
Poor
now.
Jabs. I'll put him into it. Let's go.
All right. Arm
Oh.
wrestling competition. That's a real Texas in here. All right, here we go. Move the cameras. Move the cameras.
And Manx, if you win, I'll never forgive you.
And we can jeer
I'm
with
only here for one
the
event.
microphone by reading off Texas idioms at the end.
Is there any cheerful ones?
There are cheerful ones for sure. Here
let's
we go. 3, 2, 1, go! Oh man, that boy's brave as the first man who ate an oyster.
He's double backboned.
Holy moly, going on! That boy's doing a land office business.
He's yellow as mustard, but without the bite.
Please win already, please. Just a minute.
Get him, Jobs.
Hey, fantastic. That content piece went exactly how we thought it would. Thanks for watching. Well done.
Power can be found in any number of places. Scientists will tell you that it comes in newtons. Gamers will say that it can be found in silky skills. We will say that the power lies in real thrills. In the play with perfect ping. In the runes and crystals. In every frag and gank. In your personal winnings. Lock and load for PGL Arlington.
Welcome back. We are in game number 3 between Liquid and Boom. It is still our first series, but one of these teams is going to be eliminated at the end of this game when it comes to the PGL Arlington Major. But guys, I do know there is a draft, so we'll quickly talk about this. Puck. It's always getting through to the last phase, whether it be a ban or a pick. Why do you feel that neither of these teams are placing importance on it that every other team feels that they are?
Yeah, I feel that Liquid, they're just not placing that much importance on it because Boom is not drafting it. They're not picking the hero, and because of that, it allows them to pick something else, perhaps something that they find just as important, and leave the puck, if necessary, for later stages of the draft.
Yeah, there's also that, like, Tiny has come out both games in a row, and we've talked about how pros consider it to be like that counter that's meant to dissuade the puck, so maybe it is working, and that's why we don't see it coming out.
Very true.
They got over that fear last game, and they showed that really Tiny's not that great, especially when he's on support.
Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, the big hero of this series is going to be the Chen again.
Yeah, we brought it up in the pre-game. It's now been in every single game. Liquid going straight for that Chen TB. It worked for them in game 2, and they're like, why mess with that recipe? Yep. But Boom's opening on the other side is the Death Prophet Tusk, so we're going to be seeing Zai on something else this time. He's not going to get the TP himself.
But look at this. Zeus instantly banned out by Team Liquid. They open up with the TB, but now all the bans should be into protecting him, right? Like the Zeus, now perhaps an Ember in that next ban.
Bat Rider as well, yeah.
Bat, yep.
Are there any others, or those are the main 3?
Maybe Wyvern you consider?
Oh,
out of the support
Wyvern's already banned.
Oh, JK. I was about to say, Wyvern looks really good for
No,
Boom.
actually a PGL instead.
Our hero's hit and miss. Real miss.
Real miss lately.
Real miss, and I saw 1 win, and that was it.
That one hit that happened.
Don't worry.
too much. Yeah.
Oh, they banned anyway. Oh my god, what a fool I look.
The DP Tusker, though, let's talk about that on the side of Boom, because like I said, Zai's not going to be able to get his hands on it now. It is on Boom, and the Tusk was really effective the last time they picked it in this series.
Yeah, I think they're trying to set FBZ up to have a better game. DP is very comfort for him, and also it's just taken away from out of Liquid's hands because they played it 2 games in a row. They've shown it's the go-to for Zai if they can get it. It pairs very well with the Chen. It gives you, this very fast early game push, objective taking, and that's something that Liquid use to overwhelming success in game 2.
Yeah. Ember does go out in the end by Team Liquid. They don't want to play against that as they do have the TB. Meanwhile, Boom, they banned out 2 of the Zoo ones that you just mentioned. Marcy is still in the pool.
I was about to say that if Marcy's still in the pool at the end of this, do you reckon Liquid will just back it up again? Go for that Marcy?
I like it quite a bit with Chen as well, as you can send the creeps up forward as Chen, and then Marcy can rebound off of those, initiate for you very easily, so I wouldn't mind seeing it once more.
Does the Schem Rubik at all feel possible for Boom? Not like, I guess in this lineup, but just in this game in general without seeing many more.
In the game of Dota, it's possible.
He's got me. He's got me with that one. You know what? I fell into it.
It's magic damage, but I still don't love it against the Chen. It just feels like you still get overrun a bit.
Yeah.
But it's definitely playable.
I'd be much more keen for a Snapfire.
Still
on board with that.
Yeah, that's the only thing they lack with the Snap is they don't have that like AoE control that they usually pair it with, like the FBZ Mars. I could see. Oh no, Puck's gone. Puck's actually gone. I'm so happy.
Snapfire Void?
Yeah, Snapfire. I know. No.
No.
I mean, there's no Puck matchup, so it is definitely looking better. Yopaj, he also plays the Mars sometimes.
No, I mean
too.
Void.
Oh, Void. Oh, Faceless Void.
Faceless Void, yeah.
Not Void Spirit, just Void.
There's too many voids in the game. What do you want from me?
Oh, Yopaj Kotal instead.
Or Scam
I like this pick.
Or Scam, yeah, but it brings a ton of magic damage early on versus the TB. I do like it overall versus the Chen as well. So
yes,
I would love to see it on that mid lane position.
Yeah, it seems like a better answer than the Timber. Like last game they responded with that. This game they've likely picked their offlaner, so I think Cardle just makes sense here, and it's something Yopaj has played, and while it's not like his quintessential playstyle where he's flashy playmaking, he does play Cardle well.
I mean, you say that. It was his first ever professional Cardle game the last time it was played in this group stage, and it was shaky. I'll be real. Like, he seemed not comfortable on Cardle the way he is with other heroes. His net worth was far lower than someone like 9, and it was only later on that he really started to shine on the hero.
That's a quick 1-2 Tiny and Snap right there.
Do you feel like the Snap Tiny, whilst obviously very versatile and good in Liquid's lineup, it is a little bit of a we can't let Boom have these?
It could be a little bit, right? It could be stealing the Snap away from them. A lot of magic damage versus TB always comes in handy in those earlier stages of the game. Plus, you can kill him off from distance. He doesn't even get the chance to use his Sunder. But I'm wondering, which one of these two do you think is the core? Is it the Tiny?
I thought it'd be Tiny.
Yeah.
Just if this is like a core Cardle, your blink timing on Tiny is what's gonna give you that gap close. And it also means that if Snap were to come mid, it's very easy to just like avalanche into a cookie and like have that a little bit of kill threat there on the Cardle.
The Jug on the side of Boom. We see them pick up their carry as well. And how do you feel like it goes? Well, not only with their lineup, but as it goes into later game, that scaling against the TB, how are the timings and comparisons in the matchup?
It's definitely not a TB counter. If anything, in the past, TB was like considered the counter pick to Jug because, Omni Slash versus all these illusions. Jug builds have kind of evolved and like there's a lot more damage output coming from Blade Fury with the talents plus the Mjolnir build that you often see. But I think more than anything, it fits Boom and their kind of tempo that they want to play at. It gives them like this ability to play around the Death Prophet ultimate, take a lot of early objectives, secure Roshan, and try and beat the TB's item timings. And I think Jug's gotten better against the TB in recent patches.
I would say that the function is kind of a curve. Like both of them have different power spikes according to what items they get at what times. Like Jug can definitely be pretty good against the TB, but so can TB.
Yeah.
I also really love Jug's playstyle, like the way Boom I've seen them play it. You have this like Maelstrom, you get your Shard, and you're just kind of face tanking like the Fog. because you can just spin into it and you have like a blink and you're able to be really mobile and doing loads of damage, and like Boom would do a lot of like pokes and prods with their blink spin.
One thing that I thought Team Liquid might do, and something that Boom Esports is also kinda expecting, is to have Tiny plus Snap on the offlane, the two of them. And then you last pick a mid laner that can actually jump on top of Kotal easier. And you can see Puck and Storm Spirit both banned out by Boom Esports. For me, Tiny, like you guys mentioned this blink against the Kotal that you get on Tiny. It's good, but for me, Kotal moves like 600 movement speed. Like, it travels, wind lace. You can blink, but that doesn't even mean that you will be on top of him. By the time, if he just catches a glance of you, he's already gone.
I mean, there's a lot of catch though in the pool as well. Like a Kunkka with long range X marks could be a really big issue for Kotal. I don't know if they can ban every single thing out.
Yeah. The conundrum is like which one of these heroes is good against Kotal in that catching way, but also doesn't get destroyed by him on the mid lane with constant spams.
Yeah. And I guess I think the good news for Boom is even if they feel like Kotal's being addressed, they can put it back on the support. If you look at Liquid's bans, they don't know where some of these heroes are going. Death Prophet can go mid or offlane, Kotal can go mid or support.
Very good point, yeah.
And because Boom have this final pick of the draft, they get to kind of, you know, get a full read of Liquid's draft, then decide how they want to play Kotal and Death Prophet.
Anything standing out for Liquid as well, this final pick now that all the bans are done? You're gonna have to wait.
Visage is my favorite, yeah.
There you go.
100.
Yeah, you guys predicted that one. Woo!
Ha ha ha, yeah. I mean, that's really good because it's going to get a Wraith Pact. It's going to really like help nullify a lot of the magic damage coming out from Boom and team fights.
I want to think about how Boom are going to do their lane matchups now. Do you think that Kotal is going to have to go back to support? Could they keep it as a core? What is this last pick going to be?
Looks like a good core game to me, in my opinion.
Yep.
It's still pretty solid. One Illuminate Blast isn't that great versus Visage, but overall you amplify the magic damage on him and you spam him constantly, so it's all right.
You could pop the Vessel to maybe break his cloak.
Exactly. You could decide to go full mad mode with something like a Viper into the Visage as well, but I don't think it's that necessary.
Yeah. It does feel weird, like last picking a support here, but at least that's what looks like could fit their draft, like just get some kind of AoE magic damage like Jakiro type hero. Enchantress, okay. Alright. They're looking to win the lane, I think, or at least contest the lane, because Visage is a very strong laner, level 1 Soul Assumption, hard to play into, so Scam going for the comfort pick.
Yeah, he's both, right? Like he can nuke you down and it's really hard to deal with because Jug's like spin is on way too long of a cooldown, but what he is weak at laning is he has no disengage, he has no way to get out. It's so scary.
I was going to say, they're taking their time with where this Snap and this Tiny are going to go, but Mickey picks it up. So now we know where that Tiny is. It's the Tiny up against Kotal. Are you liking this mid matchup a little bit more? How's it going to play out into the late game?
It's pretty solid. The mid lane, like many mid laners have said, it's not that difficult for either one of these two to find enough farm. There's a ton of region. Where this game is made or broken for Team Liquid is on the offlane for me. Zai needs to have a really good game, but not only him, his teammates need to go and help him as soon as the laning stage is kind of about to be over, because Visage is that type of a hero. You need to buff him up as soon as possible.
Yeah, like if they do want to do a lot of mid rotations like we've seen them in the past, like that leaves Zai very vulnerable.
Alrighty, well, let's just jump straight into Game 3. Liquid up against Boom. We are going to be saying goodbye to one of these teams, but we're going to go say hi to Lyrical and Trent.
Hello. How's it going, everybody? Game number 3. Did you like that?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. She said hi, you said hello. That's how usual human conversations go.
I'm not very good
Great
at them,
job.
apparently.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right, we're just going to step away from that. In game number 3, Liquid facing off against Boom. I feel like there's been the change that's really made a big impact in that, and that's Matumba Man's hero. Game number 1, the ALK, Terrorblade presented this like really unique set of problems. They didn't have the answer, even with the Timbersaw. Do you think they've addressed it here on the side of Boom?
I think Boom, they've seen it, obviously, and then they've kind of looked at their own lineup, and I do think they have an option to win this game. I think they got their nice little plan here, and I like the confidence of coming to that last pick. There's so much flexibility we talk about in the drafting stage now. Like, this hero can go forward, this can go mid, this can be off lane, and in the end, they just say, wait, our heroes are good. Everything looks good. Like, even in their more casual, more normal roles at the moment right now, let's just grab the Ench, secure our lanes, and try and run this game in our strategy, in our way. And so, Boom, it will be a high-flying, high-octane game for them. Whereas Liquid, they definitely have some of the earlier timings that you're going to be looking for. Like, Mickey's going to be on the Tiny, so he's a very kill-hungry mid-hero. And then Zai on this Visage looking to get into that level 6, and then probably heading towards that Wraith Pact.
once you get that, you open up so much more around the whole rest of the map. That ward placed down kind of interesting to spot some movements there by Boom. Curious what that's going to be towards. Maybe they want to try and find the Chen if he's hanging out up on that side, or just see if any camps are blocked or what have you. But regardless, the thing that we can also watch for in this is a Juggernaut. I feel like I haven't seen too many of these heroes recently, although they're all over the place in pubs. Pro matches, they sometimes will slide away from them a bit more, and this could be an interesting pickup. Still pretty decent win rate in one of the heroes with 71% win rate on Dire. Wow.
Yeah, I feel like near the end of the DPC, there was sort of this idea of like, oh, Jug, he's kind of losing some games, doesn't feel that good. But then the group stage, I feel like I saw a lot of good Jug games. He was getting bandoed a lot in that second phase. But now coming into it when it all matters, and they have their own fate in their own hands, this is what Jackie wants.
Can they do it? Shards block Mickey.
He didn't even think about the stairs.
No, he was like, I'm not getting up there. If you hold that a second longer, maybe he heads off to the right. You can maybe get a nice little strap around there, but does not happen. And again, if Liquid win, they are qualified to TI directly off of points. Boom still have an avenue to go, even if they manage to lose this one. And on the other side, if Boom win, then they're qualified, and Liquid are just out of contention.
And off to the qualifiers. So not where you want to be is down bottom here. They're trying to get a little bit of early wrap around here, potential. Conjure Image, but into the lane we go, and of course, first point Divine Favor, first point Conjure Image, not a very scary lane. And again here, we're going to have Tims on the Tusk. So the confidence here in that hero was obviously pretty amazing in game number 1. Had some great saves, but the lane with the Viper didn't go that well. They weren't able to really shut down Matu on the Alchemist. But this time with the Death Prophet, another ranged hero combination that you tend to do very well with, they're going to be hoping to send him to the jungle nice and early here once more.
If they can make that work, and that's going to be the big thing. They're already pulling the wave back behind the tower. Tims will connect this up with the creep wave, and nobody over to, as of yet, interrupt that, as they did do a nice little job connecting the wave and messing around with it there. Zai already forced Skem to use one round of the Nature's Attendants, while Boxy is contesting for this one range creep, or just a regular melee creep actually. Jackie pulling the wave back too.
I feel like Boxing Zai always managed to split up these waves, right? We've seen the share of the earlier last year as well. It's both of them close to hitting level 2. Definitely some damage potential once they get there, right? You're going to have Cookie as well as the Scatter Blast, but Soul Assumption, Grave Chill, whatever they want to do for that big nuke potential. Something that Skem does have to be at least a little bit concerned about. But currently Skem has one mission, and that is to get this camp unblocked. And look at Jackie in combination there, ensuring that there won't be a body block there. So they're definitely going to get the spawn on the small camp. And potentially even a stack as well. Yes, indeed. Lots of creeps to work with here for Boom.
Yeah, you like to see that. And the double healing spells that are being used in this lane too. Nature's Attendants, the healing ward drop down. A lot of sustain. The wave going to push into Liquid and then have an opportunity there to get a pull off. We'll see if that actually works out for them or not. In the mid lane, very much a farm fest. So far though, more denies going the way of Tiny, as you might expect with all that high base damage. Able to sidestep the blast there, but Yopaj very much going to be all about the farm in this one, and maybe heading off to the jungle to get some stacks up.
Yeah, interesting, because I feel like this is one of the matches we don't see that often for the Coddle. I haven't seen much of the Tiny, but I mean, it's just, you know, Coddle's going to blast the waves, do his thing. Will probably be a nuisance as well for Mickey trying to get these runes, because Coddle's just so fast, and then especially at like level 6 or something, if they're still hanging around blasting waves, he's going to be bouncing you around too. See, now he's double stacking the jungle up top.
Yeah, no, it's annoying. Super annoying. And Skem chasing around with that chain lightning creep. Very frustrating to deal with. But you can see the head over to the jungle, picks up the bounty rune. Boxy gets what he needs. And a toss back in the mid lane, only to the creep wave. Yopaj takes a nice little chunk of damage there, but won't amount to that much more. Actually glyphs the wave a second late to get the range creep, but the other one still full HP. But yeah, Farm Fest mid. Yopaj just needs to stay away from the avalanche combos.
Yeah, he's got to wait out for this 4-minute rune. Ooh, got a little bit greedy there.
Oh, Mickey needs a couple hits, but won't get it. Instead, it's somehow in the toss play, Mickey that ends up being under the tower, drops down. Boxy just in the neighborhood to play interrupt, and maybe finds a kill. It's actually Tims that gets first blood. Yopaj lives. Boxy tries to TP out. That could not have gone that much worse for Liquid.
How does Tims get first blood after all that? That's pretty unfortunate. Obviously, tanking tower hits, not a great feeling when you're playing the Tiny in that mid lane, and before level 6, you have 0 armor. You are not gaining any agi on this hero. You're not getting any base armor, and so it's really bad when you're tanking the tower. I think he thought that the creeps were close enough that they were going to be tanking some of the shots for him when he did that dive.
FBZ gets a little bit under fire. As obviously did not have his partner here for the last couple of minutes, and they try and punish to the best of their abilities.
Well, meanwhile, he was busy, though. Tim's managing to hunt down the courier of Insania, so no Bassi at the very least. But
dude, he's
clearly
so farmed already. Tim's has boots. He's got a full wand done. I mean, that first blood was really nice for this Dusk.
Yeah, it was a late one, but it's still worth the cash there for him. FBZ, though, being constantly harassed from Insania. Great Chen play across these matches.
Oh, and the creep dies? Double Mud Boulder? Is it enough? Not quite.
Yeah, it's still going to send him back. I mean, well, he has a salve and a tango. Actually, never mind. He's going to go for it. Going to try and stay in the lane. Has up top, Boxy and Scam still dueling it out there over that camp. Manages to get the block in there just from the body, as there was an attempt to D-ward once more from Scam. So no creeps work with. Has to go over to the other part of the jungle to grab a Centaur, but then it's a little bit more difficult to apply that pressure to Zai. And Zai doing pretty well considering. You know, he's staying in the lane. His last hits are only 11, but I mean, what can you do versus a Juggernaut who's just in your face and you can't really harass him? So he's just going to have the better last hit angles than you.
Right, he's not dying. Well, okay,
he's not dying. He's totally not going to die.
They take it away, the spin, and Zai is there for the stomp. Will he manage to escape? It looks like it. So, I mean, that's about the best that you can hope for in this lane, but it is tough pickings when Jug is just denying everything in your face.
Yeah, you know, the lore is that they're actually oatmeal raisins.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. It took me a second to figure out. I was like, what, Ench? And then Matumba Man dies down bottom. Dude, Tim.
Oh, you mean a crucial and really important kill. Okay,
yeah, that's
okay,
the one.
Oatmeal raisin cookies.
Zai. Oh, man. Okay, Liquid really starting to suffer now. I mean, that top lane, it's these two supports. You know, you talked about it. They felt like they liked their draft. They just picked this Ench, which is a bully in the lane. Messes with that bird, trying to get him extra little bits of farm and take off the Grave Chill.
Well, I'm seeing the key to Game 3. Yeah, it's the problem of Game 2, and that's just Scam and Tim's not being able to play any Dota. And they are here, and they're making it loud that they have arrived this time in the game. Getting back in the jungle. I mean, look at these stacks that are ready here, too. Now, in terms of heroes that come to steal stacks inside Liquid, it's not crazy powerful. Like, they don't have, like, the group of heroes necessarily.
Hava, toss. Nikkei caught. Oh, Cookie's to the other side. Well done by Boxy.
I mean, they can escape, but can they actually contest is the question. You know, I think of like the Razors, the Kunkas, you know, they get in here, they try and take these stacks themselves. Can he stack again? Ah, he's going to be too late. But that's a lot of gold banked up here.
So much gold. Yeah, I mean, if you just get this free form all the way to the Coddle, this is going to be a really tough game for him, for sure.
Zai just doesn't have options, right? The hero isn't really doing anything until level 6. Snap, sort of similar in terms of playing in that area, and then Mickey, you know, has to get some farm for himself, sure, but he just doesn't really have the options here. So Yopaj getting the double blasts off here, nuking through these two camps. And with the help of the Fairy's Trinket, makes it even faster.
Yep, cleared through all of them. So all of the stacks taken now as Yopaj cleans up that one. There might be one more medium camp up a little bit higher.
The crazy thing, though, is you just see how valuable lane creeps are, because guess who's still on top? It's Jackie on this Juggernaut. He is just sitting in the wave. He has 23 denies. He is complete free farm, 0 cares hero this game.
Nikkei chased down, but he's just going to be pushed back a bit. There isn't really any attempt for a kill onto this Tiny, but they don't need to. It's been a 3,000 gold lead with only 3 kills. This has all been by Boom just pressuring, denying, taking down area away, stacking up the jungle. They're out-efficiencying them.
Question is, how are you going to turn this around for Team Liquid as well? Obviously, you know, Matsuki's going to be absorbing a lot of the safer space on the map right now inside the jungle. And now the pressure comes on that bottom tower. Exorcism immediately popped by FBZ. He wants to knock this down as fast as possible, truly open up this area while Tim's chases down Insania. They're going to try and go for the kill right now. And able to just TP on out of here. Oh, okay. A little closer than I expected. I'll give him that.
Yeah, that was a little scary.
Yeah, right back to the tower they'll go.
Boom.
Oh, look, he's dragging the creeps off the tower.
This is what they need to do. Anything that you can possibly do to slow this game down. Liquid just cannot allow it to get out of control like this. You start losing objectives around the map, Terrorblade not going to have anywhere left to go to farm. And of course, we are getting close to that level 6 for Zai. He does manage to hang on to the mid wave for a little bit here as that bottom tier 1 tower is going to go down.
Buddy, this is looking rough. That
Yeah.
tower is gone. That ward by the outpost has just been there so long, scanning these movements of Matu. They knew there was no threat of rotation down bottom. And then the whole time, your Juggernaut feels completely confident sitting in lane up top. He's up to 54 and 28 right now.
No fear. He's not going for the Battle Fury build either. He's going in for the Maelstrom. Wants to stay active. Wants to get the stuff done.
Now, there is a level 6 here for Zai, though, so potential for some smoke plays, some tossbacks into stone forms. It feels like Boxy's the one who needs that level 6 next, so desperately waiting for that tome, because no matter how far behind you are, with a Snapfire on your team, you can pretty much kill anyone with the kisses if you have the stun.
That's true. And Zai's there with the stuns with the birds. That's going to be their avenue to make this happen. But need a little bit longer before they... He's already got it queued up. He's ready. He knows what's coming.
I need that tome, you know?
Real bad.
He's fighting for Insania. They're both mashing their buy key, you know? Even in a pro match, that's just how it goes.
There's no way. He's trying to get into that mechanism on Insania. They know that there was always going to be this like big lead that Boom built up. I just don't think that it was supposed to be this big. Exactly. That is the big differential. Yopaj finds Insania, Solar Bind, Shards, but the Blinding Light pushes him out. All right, Yopaj, a rare mistake there. Keeps Insania alive.
No, see, he was just looking to counter the Hurricane that he thought there was a hidden bird, and he's like, see, he's going to try and blow this way, and I'll try and blow this way.
I see.
And so Yopaj just over next level.
Oh. That is always a little bit scary when you see your Terrorblade down to about a quarter HP.
Who wants to get sundered?
Yeah. I might just need to keep fighting here, because, I mean, they can't afford to lose mid. They have a catapult, but if Liquid lose this tower, this really starts to feel like impossible to fight into.
Yeah, Jackie's Maelstrom's on the way out. Exorcism still being held. Does he want to join in the fray? There's also still a tome coming for Tims to give him the punch as well.
Bringing numbers. They do have level 6 now on Snapfire with that tome picked up. It's a hard fight to get, but they're smoked up with 2.
Oh, there it is. The kiss is leveled up.
Ready if they have an opening. And Boom, respecting this, are actually stepping back a little bit. They place down a ward, spot out a couple heroes. I mean, Skem and Tims at this point, these kills would be pretty valuable. Like, Ench is almost, it's getting closer to that Visage.
Oh, they see the real value. They're going way past. Those are the supports trying to play the Vanguard up front, giving that vision. Now they're going to hop on the Yopaj.
Couple punches. This is a huge kill. If they can get him, the dodge tries to get away, but Boxy cleans up.
Oh, he's hit the range, you know. He's here in Texas.
Exactly. Doesn't have a cookie to get away, so we'll pay the price, but that kill onto Kato is exactly what they needed.
What a fantastic maneuver. I mean, the positioning there from Skem and Tims is very intentional. Sitting upon that ramp, knowing where Yopaj is farming, they're trying to prevent that by forming like a physical wall to block smokes, right? You see that all the time in pro matches, and sometimes supports end up feeding, and that's okay, because it's all for the greater good. But in this case, they just slip right on past because they had that vision from the help of Insania's creeps, and they find Yopaj way in the back.
12 minutes in, it's still a 4,000 gold lead as Boom have very much taken over the early part of this game. Can Liquid hold off the pressure and try and mount a bit of a comeback when they don't have their ultis, man? Insania, it's the Hurricane Bird to get them away from the army of the dead, which is chasing.
They're rallying.
God, they are really hitting them quite hard. Creeps on birds, on trolls, on skeletons. Got a freaking D&D campaign just right in the mid lane here. And eventually, these are going to take down this tower. Boom are not backing out.
These heals on all the summons.
They just keep staying alive, but the punches onto the buildings, eventually it will go down. Will it be denied, though?
Yeah.
They manage it.
It's such frustrating, sustained pressure that you have from this Keeper of the Light and all these creeps from the Enchantress.
It's really hard to deal with. You can see their Skem takes back over the creep. So manages to steal one away from Chen. And a 5,000 gold lead as Boom continue to farm. And there has just not been an answer. There hasn't been a way that this fight and this game has looked good for Liquid. They just need to wait for Matumba Man to come online, and only has a Dragonlance. Still, most farmed hero in the game for them. You can see also there the levels pretty substantial. Visage does finish off now. The Vlad's. will actually eye up the drums next. So more of these like big, I don't know, amplification of damage items as Mickey able to get cookied over the top. Tosses away. Tim's TP's out, but the Walrus Punch from the low ground.
They're just feeling that strength as a unit, as you said, going for those items and staying together, pushing through, denying space here for Liquid as they hunt down the angle Zai wants to escape out of.
As birds head on back home, does get brought down low, but they can't connect with the hero itself.
They got one.
Okay.
Tims will take that. Immediately onto the tower, so they have to find the counter pressure somewhere else on the map here from Team Liquid. Time is running out. It's a 6K lead at 15 minutes right now for Boom. And those big objectives are going to fall very easily for them now.
Yeah, this is really hard. I mean, any moment that they want to go across the map, Boom are going to be able to take down buildings. And you can see, even with just one hero showing in the bottom lane, you don't feel confident going there with the Terrorblade. You need all your illusions to be hitting creeps at every moment. If they even just die, a couple of them, it hurts your farm so much. Game is just really tough.
I don't even know how you certify right now from Liquid at this point. And Mickey he went in for the Echo Saber first, just feeling like there wasn't going to be that many options for initiation. He needed something where he could try and hold back these pushes and also like stay farming alongside his Terrorblade. But without him going Blink, they just have no initiation.
They got the Tumbler's toy and the cookie.
All right, there you go. Yeah, that's true. That's true. He got Tumblers, so he's like, I don't need Blink.
It all has to be absolutely perfect, and if it's not, then the initiation falls away so quickly. And to be honest, you're still playing against Jug. Like if he's in the fight, you definitely can't take it. Maybe FBZ getting caught out of position or something, but God, the game just looks so rough.
Well, especially because they don't even have like oh, and look at this, Mickey. I mean, they know Mickey's up here because of that ward that they left at the top of that ramp there. And they also know that the support is pretty far behind, but yeah, they see them coming now, right? They see Visage, they see Chen, everything on that vision. And he pings it out.
And Boom, actually giving some respect. And again, the strength that you've got is when they're all together. And when you have this type of move that happens from Liquid where they bring numbers, the worst thing that Boom could do here would be give away a couple of kills.
Yeah, Liquid can't force the fight.
No.
That is something that you can do on your own terms right now for Boom, and they're itemizing towards a few different things right now. Force Staff is finished up here for Yopaj, so it's going to help out with his general survivability and try and ensure that they can't get the blow-up that they want. Maybe he can get a save onto someone. At the same time, though, Boxy also finishing Force Staff first.
You know, there have been a couple of these games where a lead like this has grown, and then the team that's behind has been able to keep it somewhat even with like really good map positioning and movement and like dodging fights constantly, and then suddenly maybe you get to like 30 minutes and that 6K gold lead, it doesn't feel as bad. But when you've got like these sort of objective takers and you know that Boom are eventually going to go in for the Roche, it feels kind of tough. We'll see if they can do it though on Liquid.
Well, if there's any hero that can do it, it's certainly Terrorblade. It would be nice if he had a little bit of help, though. And his help, oh man, that pushback with the Solar Bind is so much damage. Zai just not looking like a core at all.
He didn't stand a chance. Yeah, if you get caught, it's over. There's no way out. And might even lose a bird here. Moves in with the tag team, the Walrus Punch, both birds dead. Gank the hero, kill his friends. Just making life rough for Liquid in game number 3.
Mickey is farming fairly fast, though, considering the situation and considering how much space is being taken up by his Terrorblade. I mean, he's moving to some dangerous areas, but he knows he has to. He's got to find this Blink Dagger so they have any hope of just getting pickoffs and trying to put Boom a little bit off their plan. You know, stop them from grouping up if you can get that first grab.
They've been able to keep their tier 2 towers alive, 6-1. Low kill score is definitely favoring Liquid right now. You do not want the kills to start racking up because it's not going to be Liquid that are killing people. But the question is, how much of the map can Boom take over before this stuff happens? As they will head into the pit. FBZ has Exorcism available, but they're going to try and take it without.
Yeah, he thought about it, but it's like how do they actually start this fight on us? And it looks good, you know what I mean? And this will give the gold over to Tims as well for the Blink Dagger, so have a save potential to counter versus the eventual initiation that'll come out from Mickey as he's about to finish his Blink as well. It's just a fraction too late, so great timing here from Boom, and
Kisses.
The Kisses come through, but
that's some good damage. They get the kill on the Roche, they won't. So Jackie picks up the Aegis, and Boxy not able to get the snipe.
And they do get a trade on that bottom tower, sort of a bit of a class. He denies it with the Jug Illusion. Okay, nice, nice. Well done.
Dang. Nicely played down bottom there by Jackie. Blink Dagger coming out for the Tusk, and now have, at the 19-minute mark, Aegis on Jackie. Getting towards and finishing that Manta. It's been a really free game for him. Not a whole lot needed.
1-0-0.
That's a
Hitting
really
great,
good,
you know?
A nice carry score. Liquid, do they want to fight now? They're smoked up. They have the blink done. They feel like they need to make something happen.
There's no kisses though, remember?
This is a tough kill.
I don't know
This is
if
a really
this is their
tough kill.
fight.
They're smoked up though. They feel like they have to do something. There is no coddle here. This could be the one big window, but the scan is going to connect again, and boom, they're just so clean with their movements. Not taking chances. This match just as important for them as it is for Liquid. Don't want to lose your chance at the TI Direct qualification, and Skem, Mickey tries to find him.
That's a great grab.
That's a good kill. That's what they needed.
Every single kill matters right now for Liquid, and most importantly, they're about to get the Wraith Pact as well for Zai. So this is where Visage really starts to feel like this force that you look for, and the reason why the hero wins so many games. Because, like, let's look over the numbers and the damage here from Boom. If the fight, gets, like one hero gets picked off, their damage isn't that great necessarily. They don't really have the best frontliners, because Juggernaut is sort of a frontliner, but at the same time, he kind of dances around a little bit.
True.
You have this big damage coming from the TB. There will be eventually the big damage from the Tiny and the Visage to match as well. And I feel like the late game scaling, this could be something that Liquid could delay for.
Right. For Boom, the plan is pretty simple as far as what they're looking for. Find a target, blow them up at the start, or just allow Coddle heals to rain down and you eventually outscale them if they can particularly kill that Terrorblade. The tower goes down bottom, tier 2, Boxy, spotted. It's the Force Staff away. Zai says, why are you bringing him over to me? Tim's Walrus Punch connects, but
Liquid are running.
It's going to be fine. And yeah, just look at that. Tim's gets ran down.
Hand of God is still here.
They could look for more. Skem tries to back away, kisses round 2. Catches up with the Ench, slowly whittling them down. The silence is out. They have Metamorphosis if they want to turn for this fight. Skem down to such low HP, but will survive through it. Mickey takes a big Illuminate Blast through the side of him.
They're still Hand of God.
BKB, a couple more punches. FPC in trouble. Can they finish him off, though? Not quite. So 2 heroes incredibly low right now for Boom, as Liquid win this fight, but I mean, it does get a little bit sketchy. You could have gotten so much more there.
Yeah, but I mean, that's got to make Boom a little bit nervous.
Oh, yeah.
Don't you think?
It's true.
You have this big lead. You can feel how much of the map you're controlling, but you miss out on this initial grab onto one of these 2 heroes between the Snapfire and the Visage, and then more heroes start rotating across the map. And you're like, why aren't we getting kills? And like, we barely survived on an Ench and a Death Prophet.
No meta, no exorcism, but there is no kisses and nothing else.
Wow. I really thought he was going to die from a Blink Force Staff, or a Blink Walrus Punch, but not able to get the vision up there in time.
8K gold lead. They're keeping it somewhat steady, at least. The lead is not accelerating, which is the big thing that you would be worried about for Liquid. Boom. After taking that bottom tier 2 tower, they should be able to clean up these outposts on the bottom side of the map if they want. While Jackie continues to accelerate and farm, Tim's there to back him up, and they're just going to try and keep closing in the map onto Liquid.
Yeah, getting around and securing the space around these tier 2 is fairly simple, but heading towards the high ground can still be a bit scary versus a Tiny, as I'm sure we all know. This will force back the TPs. How much do they want to stay around here? And I'd be careful getting close to this Ench with the Tiny being in the game. They have a Force Staff on Boxy, so like the Tiny could potentially blink in, toss someone in, and be Force Staff to safety.
Hey, you have to be really careful there, but I mean, this is kind of a freebie. If they can get this much tower on the tier 3 tower before people come back, such damage on the tier 3 tower, that's a big win. So a bit risky, but the risk pays off. Walrus Punch on the Boxy. Force Staff to the other side of the shards, and the birds go down again.
And the lack of Manta as well there from Matus, like Solar Bind just sort of ruins him unless he wants to pop BKB. It's a full-on commitment to the fight at that point.
I don't think they have Familiars for 90. That is a little bit frustrating for Liquid, I'm sure.
That part's a bit rough, yeah. I'll give you that one.
So Aegis going to be reclaimed, and we've got 3 minutes till it's capable of respawning. Still the 8K gold lead. Will there be any other big items that get picked up in between now and that next fight? Scotty Maybe for Terrorblade if we get a decent spawn on it.
Yeah, I think the Scotty for Jug, the Scythe for Yopaj, and the Shivas for DP are like that trio of items that they're going to look for to really try and shut down. Like it's an amazing Shiva's game. Between the fact that there's going to be a lot of side lane play here, so the vision coming out from that's going to be very helpful, but catching these Blink Daggers as well from the Tiny potentially, Chen and all the creeps, Visage, and the Terrorblade, like it's a fantastic item this game. And FPZ just needs that little bit of tankability in the middle too, so you're just happy to grab the plate mail nice and early too.
Will they find anybody?
Oh, some courier's going to get spotted here by Tim, so he's got an idea where they're at. He's just going to follow it.
Follow the courier.
A couple of homing pigeons.
Oh, Insania, he knows you're there. How you doing, buddy? Oh, hello? There it is. There he goes. Walrus Punch comes out. So the courier eventually makes its way over to Snap, and will Tim's find round 2? Doesn't look like he can get there. So more pressure, and the areas where Matumbo Man can farm increasingly decreasing.
Nice one.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm still impressed by Mickey.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen so many Tinies fall so far behind this exact situation where they're like 0-2 and 2, and getting the Echo Saber first, he's really finding every single camp that Matu doesn't take. I mean, maybe it's partially because we often see like these Terrorblades and Alchemists like really take every single thing. Perhaps it's a bit of a conscious decision to give him some space here for the items. And so they're going to smoke up. They know right now that there's no Aegis to fight into, but BKB on the Death Prophet going to be pretty huge. Scythe is there for Yopaj as well.
And who do they find?
He would be a great catch first. Otherwise, you might get counter-initiated by a Scythe.
Kill some couriers. That's an illusion, so they spot Boxy at the very least. Zai playing with only one bird for the next little bit here. 60 seconds on cooldown.
They send in Scam.
Yeah.
Go take an image.
Again, they just don't feel comfy with heading out and finding a fight. They need to get a pick off. Game is so hard unless Mickey can get that toss back. And even if they find the toss back, you need Matumbo Man there to really get the kill. Or the kisses, one of the two. He is close to this Scotty. Will buy 2 components, 1,000 gold away from finishing it. And Jackie right there with him. So you can see the strength that Matumbo Man's been able to keep up his farm. He's right there with the Juggernaut, but Yopaj is the big difference maker here. Has that Hex done?
Yeah, Hex there. Scotty almost done. Shiva's almost done. Everything coming together with the timing of the Roche. America's favorite game, 35 seconds. It's 57 seconds.
Minute.
That's pretty perfect for Boom. They just need those items, and they want to head to the pit, secure that for themselves. And Liquid, what tools will be available for them? The Blink on the Tiny, the Hand of God, the Mech, Hez as well, that Shard once more, so the Granite Golem. I mean, when you're behind, 15% bonus HP, you will take that for sure. And the Wraith Pact as well. So if they can get all their spells out on Liquid, they are sort of this like amorphous blob of just like sustain and difficulty to deal with from Boom. Like, they don't have the most damage necessarily, but that's why we're talking about things like the Shiva's Guard being there to help combat some of that HP issue.
Well, and even if they do jump Matumbo Man, you know, this extra survivability he's going to have with the Scotty completed. Oh, he's so close. Oh, they take his illusion. God, that was his gold. He picks it up now, the point booster, and we'll have it delivered. It's going to pass right by that ward, so they'll know that this is here. And they'll realize that Scotty done. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, setting up for a fight. Second Roche respawns. They spot it immediately on Boom. And heading into the pit while Liquid head down south. They might miss out on this one.
Now, do they exorcism this time? I mean, Jug, you know?
Yeah,
it's got the Blade Fury talents, so he's not like mega hiding, but
Smoke up.
It's pretty fast.
I know, they're coming this direction. Already in the area, Mickey, Jackie, Skem, they're the ones that are blocking this off.
Oh, back
Interrupting,
out.
Good avalanche onto all. FBZ walks forward, they toss back in. Jackie Matumbo Man trying to kill Skem, the BKB's there. It's only the Ench to start. FBZ and his BKB, this is looking pretty good for Liquid. FBZ down low, but the snowball save. The Hex is there, but he's going to have his damage coming out of it. Tim's trying to control, but there's no follow-up on him. Matumbo Man, he gets it off. The Sunder, the turn. They're already dead on a couple. No DP in this fight. Matumbo Man lower and lower. Jackie trying to finish it, and he does. Jackie carry, but will he get out after? Liquid kiting that fight, and they finish him off, but one last blast from Yopaj takes down that Snapfire. 3 for 2. And I don't know if there's enough left to finish Roche.
Yeah, Mickey still hunting a bit there, see if he can find Skem at the end, but not going to be there. There was a buyback as well from Skem, so that's actually a 4-for-2 trade in favor of Team Liquid. And look at the XP and gold change there. Getting these heroes back after having to turtle together for so long, they're finally going to get a bit of a breath of fresh air and fresh levels.
This is what we talked about, right? You get to this like 30-minute mark and you're able to Liquid play this about as well as you could, not losing that net worth lead, not letting it expand, and suddenly it starts to matter less. But they need their ultis. They can't go for another round right now. Matumba Man still dead for 5 seconds. Zai gets caught, tries to play a little bit of interrupt, but Yopaj just spamming out this damage from the backline. The mech, it's there for the heal, but it's not enough.
That's an incredible pick off. They need that so bad right now.
Mickey, they try and move in. Matumba Man, he's just got a punch. He does not have Metamorphosis. Can they chase down the rest of these heroes? Oh, the cookie, but the snowball save again. And Matumba Man down to a quarter HP, pops the BKB, waiting for FBZs to wear out. He wants to sunder this, gets it for the kill. Matumba Man, he hits his mark. Oh my goodness, that is what they needed. Mickey, though, gets found and killed by Skem, but Matumba Man just going in with his bare hands.
And now Jackie's
trying
back.
to make it work.
Jump in, Jackie.
The snowball forward, the spin down, and boom, they take down the carry
There's
of
a
Liquid.
scythe. It's going to be here as well. There's no Force Staff in time. They can keep this chase on to Boxy.
Boxy tries to hide, tries to get away, but Tim's, Yopaj, they're on the case. The Hex is there, the snowball in. 4 go down, and boom, Roche is open.
Back to the Roche, back to the Shard. Pass that off here, and well, Tim's, he's finally get his courier back, and I've been wondering, can I get an Aghanim? Because I feel like that's sort of a fight where it starts, where Zai goes down. That's what they need right on Boom.
God, this extended fight after the fact, and Liquid just sticking around a little bit too long and getting punished.
Yeah.
Matumba was so close to respawning.
Part of the issue there is Insania has no save at this point, right? Like, he gets the mech off, but there's no hand of God at this point, so there's not as much that they can sort of like bait out and put them in a compromising position from Boom. And then at this point, though, when the rundown's here and Matsu's there and you're running out of this sustained damage, like they needed Jackie the first time to bring him down. Great cookie, and even with the snowball, though, not able to turn that BKB. Look at the fearlessness. He's like, you guys have nothing right now when I'm BKB'd. That's a core coddle. I don't care.
Unreal. And Tim's did this fight about as well as you could. Like you said, that snowball there making a huge difference. And, well, Mickey finds him. This fight not over. This game not over by any stretch of the imagination. But Zai will get found. But Matumba Man pops it, chases. The Hex was there from Yopaj. That long-range control, so hard to deal with. And now he's got an E-Blade. This BKB, it's everything for Matumba Man. It's all of the 12% that the Dota Plus is giving him right now.
Yeah. And Tim's still holding the shard as well. He didn't decide to consume it himself, just sitting in his backpack, so I'm not sure who wants that, but we'll see who they decide to pass it off to. Yeah, I would really like to see the Aghanims, though, from the Tusk. I feel like they're at that point now where they just need to break this up a little bit. And there is some concerns, though, because, like, what if you make this save with the, or, like, what if you try and pull them out, but the Hand of God is too much?
Right.
And then maybe you can't get that initial kill, but I do feel like they kind of need to pick apart this Liquid roster because they're just so strong as a unit at this point in the game, surrounded by this Wraith Pact.
It's true. I mean, again, you're winning right now on Boom, but we saw that when the fight is sort of on even terms, all the heroes there, it's still relatively close. They do go for the shards there onto Tusk. At 13,000 gold lead, and Liquid going to have to hang on to their high ground. And the problem is that now you're actually getting into that next set of items. And when Boom take that next tier, next step up, it's going to be really hard for Liquid to compete against them. Jackie moves on in. They won't quite find the Tiny, who has finished off the Silver Edge. Hard game for Liquid.
Yeah, the potential is certainly still there, though. I mean, they have the Aghanim's Tusk, you know, they have the Tiny.
Right, that's true.
Yeah, they have the potential to isolate in this game, so out of that Silver Edge could find something. Ob Sentry combo in the bottom lane there from Boom in case someone tries to make their way out there with that Invis. Keep an eye on someone trying to solo push out that lane as well, perhaps. And they're just staying locked in the base right now from Liquid.
Yeah, it's too scary into that Aegis on the Juggernaut. This is probably going to be the state of the game. They had to do it earlier, waiting out and hoping to find a moment to get out on the map. This time it's a smoke just outside of vision. This might just be a farming one. I don't know if they'll find anybody to go for a quick jump onto.
Yeah, just some D-wards there from Boxy, clearing up the pillar, give them an idea what's up. Check the other ones as well. They don't even go for the Opus right now. Jackie just TPs in confidently. Says, if you want to start a fight on my Aegis, I am in.
He is super ready for that one.
Spinning for the wave with the movement speed.
Sends out the illusions. And the wave will be caught here by Mickey. Does the old avalanche toss, then TP outplay, cutting waves where they can while they try and buy time for Matumba Man to get another item.
Oh, Sam, it's big upgrades for Zai. He's gotten the shard now on the Visage. There's also going to be a shard finish for Boxy here now as well, so that's stun coming out. They have a lot more control now to try and get this damage out from Matu, because he's really the one they need to enable at this point, right? We're just trying to ensure that he can get as much right clicks out as possible. And Mickey, in a similar vein, of course, just wants to get that first big jump.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you need to find one of those targets, get somebody caught. The other thing is potentially a refresher at some point, because it's meta and it's BKB for Liquid. It makes all the difference in the world, but Terrorblades still need to get more gold, more damage before then, so he can blow up that Juggernaut, because so far, Jackie, again, yet to really be touched that much in this game. 2-1-2.
Well, and as Liquid, you see them, they're piling up these observer wards. The next smoke out, right? You got to ensure that you can see everything in the fight. So you might just see them drop them down everywhere. I don't know what kind of sustained vision you can get out there right now. Not a lot of gems, by the way, in this series, but we do have one this time on Scam, so going to be there to help control that vision. That just makes it a little bit more valuable, I would say, when you're dropping them in the fight, because if you leave them out on the map with you being herded back into your base so often, it's very likely they're just going to get spotted by somebody with the gem.
Oh, yeah.
So you kind of just drop them down in the fights and hope that that's enough for you to win, especially when you have someone like a Terrorblade who has this big, long range of the right clicks. You just don't want to lose someone.
No. Got to keep that vision on him, not get fogged out. They do place one ward down now on Boom to try and control this area. If the fight breaks out, they're going to be in a good spot.
It's a minute and a half from tier 4s, and they haven't even finished their tier 3 neutrals yet either from Liquid.
I mean, they got to get out on the map and cut those.
Yeah, it would not hurt to get out there now. And of course, with the Aegis being down, this is the time to do that.
There is also double Aeon Discs picked up for the Coddle and the Tusk. So if things start getting a little bit dicey, they're going to be able to survive that initial burst.
Kind of interesting that neither of them tried the Disassemble, huh? Because neither of them have been popped yet.
Yeah, it's true.
Or reassemble, I suppose.
Smoke out, Liquid. Seeing if they can catch anybody that's just heading out on the map. Mickey will run into some Juggernaut illusions. They get down a ward in the mid lane, and Liquid trying to, as you said, get that farm on, get this next round of creeps. Oh, the illusions get taken, the bounty rune away too.
Yeah, and Insania just looking to pop smokes, standing there in the tree line by this double observer. So this is where they want to fight, or at least they're willing to fight right now.
But look at home. Boom, pressuring the tower. Tier 3 falls unassisted. There's nothing else there besides those illusions.
That's the first one to go as well.
So a good play by Boom. They see, all right, you take back over your jungle, we'll take your towers. Get it taken care of. 15k gold. But the other thing is this next round, the Aegis coming out, third one. We'll see who it is that ends up claiming the prize as Jackie building into the butterfly next.
It feels like Yopaj just needs his allies to be as survivable and annoying as he is, because he wants these slightly longer and extended fights so he can just keep spamming out all his items, his E-Blade, his constant healing onto the team. And that was the one thing that I think they were sort of struggling in that fight, that Liquid was able to go toe-to-toe with them. And that they are kind of feeling like they're at that point, right? Especially with one more item. Even just like some evasion or something on FBZ would be huge for them.
Smoke. FBZ, as you said, has a couple of survivability items, but they are going to head out front and center. Liquid.
Boxy's going for a real risky ward.
Evacuating
it actually got pinged by Skem. He knew.
Yeah, Skem's realizes it, and Boxy going to jump away. So this should tip off the rest of Liquid that there's trouble in the area. Mickey likely to TP out, although Yopaj, just smoke breaks. Goes invis. Do they have any detection? Doesn't look like it. So Mickey able to get out of there. Does he go for another play here? Going to cut another wave maybe? It might be. No, he's just going to TP. Plays it safe. Dude, this game's, it's like, you catch the tiny there and like that could be it. That could be their qualification.
Yeah, he actually had no buyback too, so. Slightly worrisome there. And 10 seconds. America's favorite game, Gabe. When will Roche respawn?
If it's very quick, maybe.
Give me a number.
Liquid. 2 seconds.
22 seconds.
Oh my goodness. We're always so early.
It's two's all the down. All the down. Two's all the way down. 47. All right. Okay. A little bit early here.
Gem picked up for the Chen. I know they got to deward this area. This next Rosh, it's everything. It's pivotal.
Ooh, they have no obs on them right now? That is rough. I mean, they're planting it on their high ground. They're going to try and hold this territory, but I think that's their last ward at the moment, too. So that is frightening. You do not want to lose sight of them in this engagement.
Tim's Skem ready to face check this with a creep. The Glimmer after, the toss back, they get their Tusk. But there's the Aeon Disc proc. The Hex already out onto Terrorblade. This could be okay for them. Snowball onto one.
He plants a ward too.
The pushback, they have good vision onto all. Jackie goes for the spin. FBZ, they turn onto this DP, trying to kill him off in time. Can they do it though? The Abba toss combo, it's enough. FBZ will fall, and the kiss is coming in the backline. Yopaj takes care of that. But it is only 1-for-1. It was the DP kill.
It was, but there's also no BKB on Matu, so getting back into this fight can be very troublesome for Team Liquid. But they're going to find that this Rosh is up now for Boom.
And that's hard. I feel like, again, no DP. Maybe there's a little bit of worry there, but there's going to be this window where Exorcism's down and DPS respond.
Well, there's also not going to be a meta, too, so there's perhaps an idea here from Boom. Instead, though, they're kind of examining the mid lane here, pushing this out. Don't want to give anything for free to Liquid in terms of vision and knowledge of the map.
Where are you going?
And now they steal a Conjure Image. They head in towards the pit with the illusions.
Yeah, they see it's
not
ready.
opt for it yet.
Wait for DP to be back up, and then they can go if they want. Liquid. The story remains the same. Push outside lanes, try and buy time. It's just they're waiting for that perfect fight, and a couple of times they found it, but they can't extend that fight and take down the rest of those heroes. But this is going to be an Aghanim Scepter done. Jackie,
is it time?
Tims, they're all there.
I mean, Jackie's probably the best one, but I'm down for Tims.
Oh, there you go. We'll see if he takes it.
I mean, he's kind of owned the series. Game 1 Tusk, you
Listen,
know.
it's a carry. They're going to take the axe. You know what's going to happen.
Come on, Tims. Move that slot.
Not quick enough.
Yeah, they're just faster clickers. That's all it is.
Well, a lead that has been growing more and more is further now into the favor of Boom. And see fans rejoicing at this so far. The question is, can they close it out?
They've been hurt too many times before. Their hope's not up yet. They know.
There's a danger. Always a danger. Things could turn around. Zai losing birds in this bottom lane. Has to go for the resummon back on home.
I mean, the best sign is that it's the major and it's not versus another C team. So
That's
they
true.
know that they're not necessarily going to lose because C teams have to knock each other out of the lower bracket in every major, and that is the rule.
Every single time.
They know that. So, you know, they will fight until they find the C team.
Right. That's right. Another big pickup here, though. Zai finishing the AC. Again, you have this huge lead now for Boom, and it has continued to stay that way throughout most of this game. But there's always that inkling in the back of your head. If Boom take one bad fight, suddenly could be going under.
It's also, like, particularly for Matu, right? He just has zero concerns about this Coddle as long as he's BKB'd for the most part, right? He can just kind of ignore him. And there is the potential for the save. And by the way, I love this. The Aghanims. I feel like we're seeing the Aghanims a little bit, particularly from the Rosh, when it gets given to the Coddle, but it looks so strong every time I see it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we kind of moved away from it a little bit, and it has its own issues versus Terrorblade, but I think even the last time we saw it was versus a TB, and it still feels very difficult to play versus.
They're getting all the items right now. I mean, there's that Aghanims you're talking about, but FBZ just finishes the Halberd, so now has evasion. We think about those last couple of fights where he's just gotten focused by Matumba Man. Much less likely that's going to happen.
Although he will be able to sell out pretty soon and get that. Well, I say soon for the MKB. No, not that soon. So yeah, that evasion's going to be kicking for a while. Buyback situation here. Not so good for Liquid.
No.
Only the supports.
You got to go all in for this one.
Yeah, you got a TB, so don't really want to buy back with no meta. And he was eyeing up the Aghanims before as well on Matu, but changing his mind.
Blinding Light stun, 1.25 seconds. That's an S, not a 5. 1.2 seconds. 43 minutes in, and Boom still playing about as safe as you can be. The Death Prophet has been the focus that they've had over and over again in these fights. And this time, with the Halberd with everything else, it might not be as good. They toss back a creep. That is not good enough. Force staff 2 times to try and get out. As Zai will drop his familiars down. Jackie still very, very tanky in all of this. take over the illusion of the Terrorblade, try and do what damage they can. The Force Staff in, actually, and Zai has to back away. Jackie, after the spin, will retreat. That melee racks down substantially, and Terrorblade illusions now hitting their own racks. As Jackie runs in with the spin, tries to bring it down, gets it, and then the walk away.
The protection of the shard wall and then bouncing the units over is very crafty. It forms like a big U in between the two racks that they can't really get past.
And the melee racks down. Boom. They're taking this sort of slow, steady approach, which is just going to be spin forward, take the building, back away. And it's hard not to agree with them. It's a pretty safe way to push.
And both Aeon Discs still up right now. That's probably the key item at the moment for the beginning of these engagements. So they want to try and find Yopaj, trying to annihilate him in the back, because he is squishy, of course. I mean, he's got 3k HP, but you can get through that.
Gets the spin off. No chance for a toss back. The Hex was there. Meanwhile, the break, it connects. Good chunk of damage. Jackie brought down a little bit lower, but the heals, there's so many heals. Yeah. Whether it's Skem, whether it's anybody, it doesn't matter, it feels like.
There's Healing Ward, there's Wraith Backdoor as well here for the side of Boom, so.
Has a Lotus Orb on him. Zai drops the birds again. And 45 seconds left on this Aegis.
These constant solar binds on Batu. Feels like he just can't move. He doesn't want to pop his BKB to dispel them, but they don't have any other soft dispel.
Another spin, hit the tier 3 tower, back away. I mean, can you feel how bad Boom want to win this? They pop Exorcism, they pop all that stuff, still only putting the jug forward with the Aegis, and as soon as it gets close, they're going to back away. Take your small little victories, and no throwing today.
Nope. 24k lead, and just under 20 seconds now left on that Aegis, so we might be going for another one.
There might be another one indeed. I mean, there might be another one after that if the game keeps going like this. The worry that I do kind of have is, you know, you think about late game, the difference that you get with these items. A refresher on TB does change a lot. Whereas, like, the next item on Jug, for instance, how much extra value do you get out of that? The marginal benefit, right?
Yeah, he already hits so fast.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go. No, he is still scaling, though. Pretty
true.
Frightening pace here, as he, of course, does have that Aghanim with the Swift Slash, so being able to just Swift Blink in there, that's a lot of damage. So is the Mjolnir to go to next as well, if he wants to. Obviously, very strong versus the TB.
Swift Blink done. 46 minutes. And Boom, playing on their own side of the map while Liquid are going to venture forward, maybe try and get some vision down. Still just 11 to 14. It has been, it's such a different, like, sort of feeling in the game right here in these elimination matches for, you know, wanting to go through. I mean, this is, both of these teams' entire year has been building up to going to this tournament, and it all comes down to one best of 3, and game 3.
They're looking, how do we win this fight? You can see Boxy just saying, like, I just got a Scythe. Like, I think I just need, like, Blink Stun, get a Scythe on someone else. Zai thinking similarly, eyeing towards a Scythe. That's obviously very far away. But one thing that is getting pretty close is Insania's Aghanim Scepter. And this is something that could, you know, it's not big AoE disable in this situation, right? It's not like you're going to be stopping like an RP or something. Everyone's like suddenly dispelled. But, you know, we talk about things like Matu, get these like nuisances and everything. Something that can at least help out a little bit. Perhaps in between BKBs if he gets that refresher, or even after the BKB to help him out. Because between, I mean, he has the Satanic as well, I guess, for the Solar Bind, so he does have that at the very least. But yeah, that's not really the soft dispel you want to be popping randomly.
No, it feels bad. But they will wait around this side of the map. Eventually need to deal with the creep wave that's brought into their buildings. And Dire scan, try and find if they're wrapping around behind. But no, Liquid just playing in their own jungle as Tiny tries to get towards that Moonshard next. Still hanging on to a Windlace of all things. But sort of a testament to how rough this game has been for them. The Jug and the Coddle just so unbelievably farmed. Yopaj has had such a free game. 6-1-4 on this Coddle.
Yeah, I mean, look at that. That's crazy. 2 heroes keeping it pretty close with a Terrorblade at this point is very hard to do, and, you know, not without its consequences, of course. Like, sometimes the other heroes, I mean, think about the fact that you're the 3rd core and these other heroes.
Out.
Oh, nice.
Catch one. Tim's Aeon Disc there, but they won't find anything else after. MKB done for the Terrorblade. I think I saw a Scythe. They have the Will-O-Wisp instantly dead. Yopaj tries to throw out some Illuminate spam.
Too meta.
Can they find anything here, though? It doesn't look like it.
Yeah, now he didn't beat KB at the very least, but still. Obviously, you need that that meta to really fight, and he gets a Wraith Pact out of it.
Yeah, not what he would have hoped for.
Oh, it's a quick Roche, too. While we were busy with that engagement, the timer popped up. It's going to be short, and it's going to be without meta now for Team Liquid.
God, that hurts. That really hurts for Liquid.
I mean, I don't know if they can contest it anyway necessarily, but of course, that might be the battleground where they choose to fight instead. There's a lot of benefits, though, being near their base at the moment because they have this toss, of course, and the Tier 4 towers certainly don't hurt in a fight, as well as the fact that you're going to have those buybacks there, so...
They leave the side of the map, though. Boom going to head out. And Matsu's going to catch this wave here. He's almost at the refresher.
Imagine if he sends the birds in right now from Zai, too.
Zai found the Roche that got them in a really good position in one of the previous games. Could be another way to make it work. Ench is going to send the courier in. That does not work anymore.
Just hanging out.
Oh,
you know, maybe they kill the courier.
That's true. Fair enough. Dagon bought now by the Coddle. So the zap is there. Trying to have that as well as buyback for Yopaj.
Only a 400 gold surplus at 4,000 gold, by the way.
That's so crazy. I'm just keeping my eyes on this refresher. That's going to be the big thing for him. Boom, they spot it. Into the pit they go. And Liquid, are they going to be able to get here? Do they even want to?
The Radiant scan the high ground, just saying, like, are they coming up the ramp? Well, they're not coming up the ramp right now. The birds go by. Zai's going to send the bird into the pit. He's going to see this going down.
Yeah, they spot him with Schem. Can't quite connect in time. And Roche, another one, will be claimed by Boom. Refresher.
Oh, yes.
The Aghanim Scepter for the kick.
It's time.
It's dangerous. And there's a DD bottom. It doesn't get better than this for Boom.
No, much needed. And, of course, Tim's also once again towards that Aether Lens as well to help extend the usefulness of it, too.
Nicely done by Matumba Man.
Oh, yeah, it was a good play.
I mean, one Omni Slash with a DD from Jug, and that could be the end of the game just right there. It might be without the DD, to be honest.
Yeah, between that and the Swift Slash as well, just a tough guy to lock down here. And they're going to move higher very confidently. There's that sight, though, now revealed from Boxy. Stun, 4-step in.
Do they have anything after? Doesn't look like it. Jackie still can't do it.
Doesn't care.
Not concerned. Tim's with the kick out. They found him. Matumba Man. Oh, the Sunder. Where is it? He needs it now. He's trying to survive with just the Satanic, and it's actually good enough. Tim's turned upon Jackie, trying to focus. Can they kill him off in time? Hex, the control, the right clicks, the forward, the cookie. They missed, though. They missed the cookie. Now turns, has to force step out, but it's not going to be enough. Yopaj comes through with the damage in the end. But the buyback is there from Terrorblade. The kick onto Mickey. Tim's just keeps on finding targets. This Aghanim Scepter was exactly what they needed. He does have buyback. And they're going to need it from this Tiny if they want to stop this pressure coming from Boom.
Oh, the smoke up as well from the other heroes in the back. Remember, though, this is a Terrorblade now who doesn't have meta.
Doesn't have
He
enough.
can't afford a refresher with that buyback as well. Tough to really do much in these fights.
And boom, they can sense blood in the water. They're not even worried anymore. Jackie no longer going for the spin hit. He's just hitting right away. Will back away as everybody rejoins him, but this is the last Rax remaining. Mega Creeps soon on the menu.
And you can see the hesitation of Tim's with the Ags too, right? Like with the big save initially on the Terrorblade with the Hand of God, it was a little bit rough at first, but obviously they just have so much sustain and the Aegis on the Juggernaut that they feel comfortable with a support buyback in that situation. So Tim's again ready to hunt here with another kick if someone presents themselves.
Liquid, they're staying in this one till the bitter end.
One last building.
Can Boom close this out cleanly?
Mickey caught by a shards.
And there it is. He's the Hex. They kick him. Mickey in trouble. There's no save. Tries to push away the cookie, everything. They do actually get him out. Meanwhile, the Walrus Punch, the Dagon. Matumba Man is dead for 2 minutes with no buyback. Boom. They sense it's their time. They want to go to TI. And sense a collective sigh of relief from all the Southeast Asia fans as at least one team is going through direct. If they can finish this one off, it's a lot of damage from Mickey, but Jackie is strong. 2 more dead. Zai gets caught by the fear. Yopaj is godlike. The buyback from the Visage. Everything thrown out in the line. As Liquid do not want to give this up, but FBZ is too strong. Ava, toss, combo, the Jug. He's still got an Aegis. It's not going to matter. As Boom are going to close this one out, finish off the game, unless Jackie dives Fountain. That's the Aegis at least.
Just need the refresh, you know?
But Liquid There's not enough left in the tank. And Boom are going to take this series 2-1. They're going to TI.
Yeah, Jackie gets in there, throws a penny in the well for some good luck with the fountain feed.
Oh, FBZ's loving it.
And there it is. Absolute jubilation now for the C region, for the C fans. They have a team guaranteed to go to TI, and it is Boom. They started strong this year, and they're going to finish it here at the Arlington Major. At the very least, we'll be seeing them in Singapore.
That's right. Impressive display from them. Still Fnatic to play through the bottom for Liquid. It's going to be qualifiers again. A tough situation, a tough season in a tough region. And still a lot of answers need to be made. But Boom, they're the ones that are going to qualify, head on through. It was always going to be one of these two.
Yeah.
Still a little bit of love being spared between the two teams.
Yeah, certainly lots of love between these guys. And I mean, obviously both teams, I'm sure, just feeling that sense of like, oh man, I feel bad at whoever has to go these qualifiers at this point, as it means so much throughout the year. So Team Liquid going to perhaps one of the most contested ones across the planet. It feels like every single year, all of the regions become more and more competitive, and to have to head there, and I'd be feeling the same way.
Well, a tough series indeed, and both of these teams looking really, really good throughout many different games, but in the end, there could only be one victor, and it's going to be Boom this time, and still a lot more to be played all throughout the rest of this. These teams, they put their heart and their soul into it. A tough situation.
And we're just getting started for today.
That's right.
We've got more series with more stakes on the line here and more trips to Singapore.
That's right. So many more games to come. And as we get ready to head on back one last time, I can't help but wonder, like, who's going to be next? You know, there's still so many games that need to be played. The lower bracket's so brutal. But we'll head on back to the panel now, let them break down all the action.
That is the heartbreaks of the lower bracket. Unfortunately, with this series going 2-1 in favor of Boom, it means Liquid is out of the Arlington Major, and also, unfortunately, for a direct invite for TI. But let's look at the lighter side. Boom, they make it through. Big congratulations to them. You know, you're going to feel a little sigh of relief. If you're an SEA, you don't have to come up against them now in TI qualifiers. It's nice to know we are going to get an SEA team directly invited, but it's hard, both sides of the coin here.
Dude, I'm devastated for Liquid, but like, it cannot be overstated how good Boom played that last game.
Yeah.
Like, in a region like C where everything's known for being so chaotic, they were disciplined to the absolute max.
Mm-hmm. Do you feel it was disciplined because they knew how much this game meant, or maybe they've just cleaned up a little bit in their playstyle?
I would say they were disciplined not only in this game, but throughout the last 2 years. All of these players, there's a reason why Boom pretty much decided and picked all of them up. They were the flavor of the region, and they're just proving it here. I think discipline plus a ton of talent actually coming from SCA region at the moment, and then you add in another really good coach, an experienced coach, and you get yourself an SCA team qualified to TI.
Mm-hmm. Before I let you guys break down the game 3, we are going to jump to this stage because we do have a very nice winners interview with Banks.
Oh yes, that's right. I've managed to grab Skem once again, and you've made it to TI. You've eliminated Liquid here, but I've got to ask you on this game 3. Were you feeling the pressure a bit there, mate?
Yeah, I think we feel a bit pressure, but yeah, we still did it.
You still did it, and you did it in style as well. But you've now qualified for TI. I want to see if that kind of feeling, right, that you've qualified for TI, that pressure's gone away. Do you think you'll play better throughout the rest of the major?
Not really, because we are still not so stable. But if we stabilize our performance, I think we can still play better than this one.
And that's certainly what it's all about. Now, I do want to ask, when it comes to this major, what kind of roadblocks, what struggles have you guys had, and how have you been overcoming them?
It's really different here compared to the regional only, because the team is really good here.
Very good teams for sure. And is there something you've had to do to make sure you're adapting, or are you just learning as you go?
Yeah, we are trying to adapt and learn also from them.
That's what it's all about. But do you feel like you'll be more confident now you've survived this elimination match?
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Confidence is key. Confidence is the way we want to see it go down. Congratulations on not only qualifying for TI, but getting another win here. We'll get ourselves back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Banks. And also, Skem, he said there that the team has a little bit of way to go when it comes to being stable, to being that sort of consistent. But in this game 3, it felt like they were quite stable. The team was always progressing, always getting that gold lead, and honestly, making really great plays when it came to a lot of those rotations and map control and the map pressure. For you guys, let's start with the laning phase and have a little bit of a breakdown about how you felt it went for either team.
I think the biggest thing with the lane stage is they really shut down Zai's lane. Not so much because it's Zai, obviously he's a great player, but the Visage being kind of the key hero for so many of their timings. Like, the Chen didn't really have a hero to play around or push objectives with, and so much of that came down to, like, the Visage was playing catch-up. Only the TB was really having, like, maybe a great time, as well as, like, a bit of a farm trade in the mid lane. But the Jug and the Ench answer to the Visage was just so smart coming out from Boom.
Yeah, the Jug and the Ench. Like, Visage is considered one of the strongest laners at the moment because he can spam you with those nasty nukes constantly. Meanwhile, Jug has always been this hero. If he gets close enough and he spins, he's going to kill you before you do anything, right? Before that spin is even over, which mattered quite a bit against Visage and his armor layers.
Yeah, also, like, another huge thing is the base attack time of both heroes. Like, Visage isn't that great at
It's terrible.
bossing. Yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
And Jug has one of the fastest. It's so easy for him to last it in lane. Like, even when he had Boxy in lane with him, you could see the difference in CS.
So we saw that Visage really struggle. You see now that it falls back onto the TB, and I want to know a little bit more about how they weren't really hitting those timings for the TB, where that sort of disconnect was going for it to transition into an advantage.
I feel like the timings for TB were more or less there. The problem is we discussed Tiny and his position 1 preference, if he is, sorry, position 2 preference, if he will be mid or not, and we even discussed that he needs to be the one that catches Kotl. He was never the one that caught Kotl. That's the problem. Like, Terrorblade actually has enough farm, he dishes out a ton of damage, but he can't sustain himself versus Yopaj. Look at him, he's just constantly on the outskirts.
There's been, like, I've already seen 4 Illuminates, there's a 5th, it's just, every single fight it felt like Yopaj wasn't being addressed, and the TP was, getting his BKB up, he was getting Sunder off in most of these fights, but the problem was after getting Sunder off, he kept getting blasted, he kept getting brought low, and then suddenly Sunder is no longer up, and he doesn't maybe finish off some of these key heroes, or quite a few fights where he would get someone down really low, but they would get snowball saved, or they'd just manage to get out of range, and like they weren't being locked in place, so it just felt like Boom just were able to out-execute them to a large extent in these team fights, and a big part of that was Yopaj, his Kotl just being ignored.
Well, the other thing that stands out to me while we're watching this little highlight reel here is the Tusk. Tim's Tusk was insane. It looked good in game 1. They pick it up here in game 3, and it was just so fantastic with how much he was enabling this team.
Yeah, huge playmaker, getting a lot of saves off in these fights, always kind of being the one to kind of set things up. And, you know, they played it very slow and safe. It was his axe timing that actually kind of broke the game open. Like, they were kind of struggling to find that way to break high ground. I think partly that was because of just their, you know, they wanted to play it safe. There's so much pressure on the line with a, you know, big TI at stake, but they found once they got that Axe Scepter, it suddenly gave them a way to really, you know, basically break open, like find the kill opportunity.
Right? Like, you jump in, you kick someone out, it's always fun to watch.
Yeah, Yopaj team is just looking absolutely fantastic, especially when we look at this scoreboard here. But it wasn't always fast-paced, go for Boom. They definitely slowed down the game. I know more notably when they tried to push that high ground, they got top racks, but then there was just this lull in the game despite having Aegis and wasn't a lot going on.
Yeah, this is the discipline that I mentioned. Like, you can throw a game by pushing high ground and throwing and dying, and it's very easy to do. They were just for 20 minutes straight holding this triangle and controlling Roche over and over again, getting Aegis, playing this like death by 1,000 needles, like push high ground with spin, back off, relaxing, like taking it completely slowly, because like God's mentioned, really amazing point, the more your net worth lead increases, the more heroes you have with actual items. A Tusk support that might be only having like a blink now has an Axe, and you have like multiple win conditions to let you close out the game.
Even the Enchantress that has absolutely no impetus leveled up gets some items, you know, like benefits from those levels, if nothing else, levels that you eventually put into stats, obviously. Who needs spells?
I never really could itemize for TB, because late game I felt like TB is the only threat, so you have like Death Prophet with a Shiv's Guard, Heart of Taras to make her even tankier, all these luxury items that you just don't expect to buy in a typical Dota game.
Despite Tim's being the obvious MVP here, just absolutely playing out of his mind. One of the areas that we haven't really talked about is this FBZ Death Prophet and just how impactful he was on her.
Oh, love the Southeast Asian Death Prophet. Honestly, it has just been throughout all these tours. They just keep picking it, even when it falls out of the meta. He's so good in lane. Like I would say like just as good as Zai's gameplay in the first 2 games on the Death Prophet. Like just being able to be in the middle of everything, tanking spells, like taking a lot of attention from like TB. TB wants to have his BKB and stand in the fight, and when he's using like BKB and Sunder to chase FBZ down, just to Sunder and kill him, now Jackie's here.
Yeah, Jackie and even the Keeper of the Light, right? Like he takes so much on that offlane. He takes so much control. He just taunts them. There's a built-in skill into everything that FBZ plays. That's the taunt. He just jumps in there. You have to deal with him. If you don't, he will just dish out way too much damage or bring way too much control to the team fight.
As we look forward for Boom, now that they are continuing on in this major, what are you hoping they take away from this series, or what has been standing out for you as absolute cherry on top for their gameplay?
I think overall, I think Sheep made a really good point, which is just this disciplined play is where it feels like they've really grown and they need to stick with that.
Well, Boom, they absolutely stepped up when they needed to. They will be advancing, and their opponent is going to be the winner of our next series between Entity and Evil Geniuses.
Radiant's top tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
They should be worried.